It is a perilous time for the galaxy. A brutal civil war has all but destroyed the Jedi Order, leaving the ailing Republic on the verge of collapse. Amid the turmoil, the evil Sith have spread across the galaxy, hunting down and destroying the remaining Jedi Knights. Narrowly escaping a Sith ambush, the last known Jedi clings to life aboard a battered freighter near the ravaged world of Peragus. Happy BioWare! It's KOTOR to the Sith Lords. It's probably called Sith Lords, Sithy something. KOTOR 2! Knights of the Old Republic 2! It's 2020! The year so twice, we named it twice! All sequels, baby!
Yeehaw!
Hello, and welcome to Square Roots. I'm your host for this Space Spectacular Space-isode, Johnny Brandon. And with
Hi, John.
And with me is my friend Jim Pegaroni Banks.
Hello, John.
Also with me is my other friend, Matthew Van Zant.
Hey.
And finally, but best of all, the greatest host of Square Roots, Vanessa.
Hey! I'm not going to argue with that.
You know, we said before that.
Nope. Gotta cut that joke. Too soon, John.
Too soon.
Twist, everyone.
Yeah.
It turns out.
So on this show, we play a classic RPG, one chunker at a time. And for maybe the last half of 2020, we were kind of sketchy as to the definition of classic, but I think this one is a definite classic. We are playing Knights of the Old Republic 2, The Sith Lords, by Obsidian.
Mm-hmm. Wait a minute. Did you just say by Obsidian?
And BioWare.
We all know that George Lucas is, not really that creative when it comes to naming things. Is Sith just the shit lords?
Ooh.
Are they the shit lords?
No, we're the shitlords.
Well, you know, I think we have George Lucas right here.
No. It rhymes. You know, the Jedi and Jedi. He spelled idea. Almost. It's idea.
Oh, I
idea.
need to channel my John. You do your George Lucas, and then I'll jump in with mine.
Just think about Kermit the Frog and kind of go from there.
Yeah, I really like doing Star Wars.
Sith and
Get
shit.
out of here, George Lucas. You don't even own the franchise anymore.
He owns the heart of the franchise.
Does he? Because I think the heart of the franchise is Knights of the Old Republic.
Okay,
Ooh.
well, that's a good point.
Is that your favorite Star Wars thing, Vanessa?
It's up there.
I mean, The
What about
Mandalorian
that-
was pretty good, Vanessa.
I haven't seen the end of The Mandalorian yet, and
Ooh.
you keep sending me spoilers.
Well, watch it already.
What about that?
That's what I like to do on the side is, outside of the podcast, I DM Vanessa Mandalorian spoilers. That's it. No conversation, no other discussion in 4 or 5 years that we've known each other. Just Mandalorian spoilers.
Which was really confusing until the show actually started.
Yeah.
I mean, up until then, it was really just pre-production news.
Hey, Vanessa.
Like, there was a lot of spoiler, it's going to be called Disney Plus. I'm like, what is going to be called Disney Plus?
Werner Herzog is attached.
There was a whole 9 months where Matthew said he was pregnant with a baby Yoda.
So,
I'm sorry, John, you had a question.
I did. What do you think of that Connect game, Connect Star Wars, where there's a whole section which is a dance game with
isn't the game
Star
a dance
Wars,
game?
with a Star Wars themed pop songs where they replace the lyrics with Star Wars lyrics and you're dancing as like Han Solo or Darth Vader or Luke
It's Han
Skywalker.
Solo for sure.
Yeah. Are you talking about the song that goes, I'm looking at the stars, you can't stop me now. I'm loving Cloud City, I'm full of the wow. I'm Han Solo, I'm Han Solo, I'm Han Solo, I'm Han Solo.
I think so.
Yeah, that would also be my top 3 Star
Okay,
Wars.
Good.
So we have Knights of the Old Republic, we have that song about Han Solo,
Uh-huh.
and then something else.
Matthews Werner Herzog impression.
Matthews Werner Herzog impression.
I don't think I have a Werner Herzog impression, so
We'll work on it.
Yeah. It's one of Vanessa's favorite things in life.
It's my favorite thing, and you refuse to do it. All I want is to hear your Werner Herzog impression.
Life
All
is
right.
tragedy.
Well,
and Master
I'll work on it
refuses
over
to
the course of this series, and maybe by the end
Herzog
of the
impression.
season, I'll have an impression for you.
Yeah, just
All right.
just rewatch those initial episodes because he is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
But before
Or
we
just maybe ask Paul F. Tompkins to give you some tips.
Oh yeah, a lot of that super ego has Werner Herzog, doesn't it?
Maybe.
Oh. Well,
I've never listened to Super Ego.
before we get started talking about Knights of the Old Republic, why don't we talk about how people level up?
Yeah.
And Vanessa, why don't you go first?
Yeah. Okay. I saw a movie called Frozen 2. Too fast, too frozen, freeze hard with a vengeance. Frozen 2, Freezy Boogaloo. I thought it was okay. It was better than I expected it to be based on the reviews. I did go with some small children's, and there were many different small children's in the theater. It was pretty packed for having been out for so long. And many children, including some of the ones I attended with, like to bring their Elsa dolls or Olaf dolls to see the movie with them. It's pretty cute. It's a beautifully animated movie. I liked the songs. There was one song moment in particular that I very much enjoyed that was reminiscent of a 1980s music video. I thought that was very well done.
Oh, that
You
sounds
must be
fun.
talking about cats.
I'm talking about cats, and I thought it also had a really good and unexpected message about doing the next step of something, even if you don't know if things are going to turn out okay in the end, which is something that I think a lot of us could stand to hear in this year of 2020. People, listen to Frozen 2. If you are afraid for the future, or maybe you even think there's no future at all, just do the next right thing, one step at a time, and don't think ahead too far. You know what to do.
Throw yourself into the unknown.
That's right.
Is that a good message to keep doing what you're doing, even if you don't know?
I don't think
What
that's what
will
she
happen?
said.
Oh,
That's not what I said.
okay.
It's about when you're feeling very much in despair and super depressed, and you're so down that it's impossible to envision a bright future. Just do the next step.
Okay. That is a good.
And that's all you have to focus on.
That
yeah,
is
it is a good message. Very unusual for a children's movie.
Yeah, those Frozen movies have some interesting themes. I loved the first one, and it's kind of overarching theme about not just friendship, but like sisterhood and family, and not the standard Disney fare of like love, and marriage. It was, it's they're doing something different with those movies, and it's great.
Mm-hmm. I will say that I think that Kristoff is the best written love interest of a Disney princess of all time.
He makes a wonderful princess.
He makes a wonderful princess, and That is something I noticed in the first movie when he obtained affirmative consent before kissing Anna. And in this movie, there's a moment where he sort of scoops her up onto his reindeer, and she's been through a whole bunch. And he says to her, "What do you need?"
Yeah.
Which I thought was like, what an amazing thing for like the rescuing dude to say. Not to make assumptions, not to take away her agency. He's just like, I am literally just here to support you. It was very dreamy. Oh, that Kristoff.
How do you feel
And
about
he can
that?
talk to reindeer.
How do you feel about that Olaf? Because he was wearing on my last nerve by the end of
Yeah.
Frozen 1. So when Frozen 2 rolled around, I was like, enough of this snowman. I hope he melts.
I think that Olaf is okay in small doses. I was, as I mentioned before, there with small children. One of them was of the little boy variety, and he absolutely adored Olaf. And that kind of warmed my heart to him a little bit, because it was him and his sister. But he is actually the one who brought the Elsa doll. So good on him for feeling empowered to carry around an Elsa doll and enjoy his snowman moments. He loves Elsa and he loves Olaf. That's it. Jim, how did you level up?
Let's see. I've been playing Jedi Fallen Order. We're gonna do an episode on it. Pretty excited about it. I like that game. And I also saw the movie Ad Astra.
Ooh.
Brad Pitt.
How was that?
It's actually really good, and it's set in like the near future, so it's kind of sci-fi-y, and there's lots of interplanetary travel. There's a cool action scene that takes place on the moon.
Ooh.
I think it's
Is
pronounced
it good though?
I hear there's
Ed
pirates in
Asner.
that movie.
Yeah, there's moon pirates.
Ooh.
Yeah, I liked it, and it's got some cool themes, and it's shot really well. It's a good movie. I liked it. Two
That's cool.
enthusiastic thumbs up.
Is it good though?
Why wouldn't it be?
I don't know. I just feel like I haven't heard a lot about it. It kind of came and went. Or I guess it's still here.
Oh, yeah, I don't know. It was like, I thought it was a really well done movie. It got a little too, it was a little explicit in its themes. It should have let the subtext be subtext, but instead they made it Brad Pitt voiceover.
Oh, that's
which,
right.
Oh,
which,
no.
which was kind of hammy. They did it in the beginning and at the end and a little in the middle too, I guess. So that was kind of the worst part of it. But overall, it was actually really good.
How does it compare to Interstellar?
I kind of liked it better. I didn't really like Interstellar.
Yeah, Interstellar's not good. Interstellar's got,
little
I
up
think, a
its-
really great like first half with like
Yeah.
all the space stuff and the special effects. But then it turns out, I think, if I remember that movie correctly, the fifth dimension is love, and it's a little
Yeah.
That's a bit much.
It got a little up its own butthole.
It's weird to have a hard sci-fi movie, then turn around and be like, but also, y'all know about love, right?
But yeah, I liked it better than Interstellar, and it was got good action and good acting, and it's good. John, how did you level up?
I leveled up by succumbing to my biggest vice in life, which is buying too many video games.
Oh, no.
It was a winter sale time, and I have poor impulse control when it comes to that kind of stuff. So
You don't have to frame it as a negative, John. Tell us about all your cool purchases, dude.
Okay, I got Baba Is You.
Ooh.
Which is really fun. I
Have
was
you played
playing
it?
that on the plane? Yeah, I played it for about 3 hours on the plane ride. and
Wow.
I thought it was good. I'm pretty
That's
good
the
at that
game where you're a Baba, right?
Sometimes.
It
Sometimes.
looks really interesting. Like, you control the actual words, right?
Yeah.
And the words
You're
control
like-
the environment.
It's like Boxel, except you're pushing around like programming language, and it changes the reality that you're in, and in interesting ways, so you can solve puzzles. So like suddenly, Baba is you, but then you can move a different word there. So like flag is you, and then you can make Baba is win, so you can go and win the level. It's interesting.
Oh, that's neat.
Oh.
Yeah, it takes a couple of minutes to figure out how it works, but it gets really tricky really fast.
Yeah.
But I'm definitely enjoying that. I got Skyrim Super Fancy Edition for the PC, the one with like the extra special effects and better textures and stuff. It looks like Fable a little too much. Like everything is like bathed in sunlight and bloom and stuff in a way that looks just like Fable 1 did on the Xbox One.
Interesting.
That's funny.
Yeah, like I can see what they're going for, but sometimes there's too much bloom and everything just looks super Fable-y.
So Skyrim's finally harnessed the power of the Xbox.
Exactly. Except that I'm playing it on my PC. I got Quantum Break, which is the one that's like, okay, people said it was partly a TV show and partly a game. It's by the people that did, or it's by Remedy, who did Control and Max Payne and Alan Wake. But I haven't got to any live action parts, so I don't know if I really thought there was like a live action TV show in there somewhere. Have any of you played it?
Mm-mm.
No.
So I played it for,
Definitely.
like,
Is it live action or is it just like cutscenes?
yeah, I think it's just cutscenes. I was really expecting like live action video.
But they're like mocapped or something, right? Isn't it? Who's
Yeah.
the actor that's the main dude?
Well, it's got Vanessa's new boyfriend, Dominic Monaghan.
He's not my boyfriend.
She
Well, then
said
why-
just
shyly, looking
really
around to see if
in-
anybody heard.
I'm just really into Beaumont Kin, his character from The Rise of Skywalker.
What, because you didn't like Rose and were like, well, this is what Rose was supposed to be doing, but let's put this new character in there anyways.
I don't know what you're talking about. Beaumont Kin is super cool. Did you know that Beaumont Kin can speak 9 different languages?
Can he speak bocce?
Yeah. I don't know what those languages are, but I still think it's pretty impressive.
I have
Did
no
you
use for
know-
a floppy-haired hobbit that can't speak bocce.
I haven't actually seen him speak them. I only know this from the subtext of the movie, which was then transferred to Wikipedia, where I did read the entire Beaumont Kin character entry. Did you know that Beaumont Kin was on a path to become a professor, but then he left to join the Resistance?
There's also that guy from
Boy,
Fringe.
That is.
You know the bald
painfully
guy
on the
from
nose.
Fringe? I can't remember his name.
The bald guy from Fringe?
Yeah. He's like working for the Fringe agency, and he's got a voice like that. You know, he's in Quantum Break. I really like that guy.
I thought you were trying to say that he was in Rise of Skywalker.
No.
With my favorite character, Beaumont Kin. Here's a true story
Oh,
about the
boy.
Beaumont Kin Wikipedia entry. The Beaumont Kin Wikipedia entry states that Beaumont Kin is, and I quote, the son of a mother and a father.
Well, that's good. That's great.
Mm-hmm.
Here's to heteronormity.
So they were hoping that Beaumont Kin would catch on and that they could make him, I mean, let's say Luke's son or something, I assume, because everything ties into those motherfuckers.
No, they just
Oh,
really
he's the
wanted
other
to get
son of
that-
Han Solo, Beaumont Kin.
They really wanted to hit that lonely women in their 30s demographic.
I beg your
God damn, John.
pardon.
You know, like
Just
some
slap her in the face instead of talking so cruel to her. Why don't you just hit her?
Some Disney algorithm created Beaumont Kin and like algorithmically inserted his character into the screenplay.
Yeah, and
I
it's-
should
to
drink
appeal
while
that
to a
program's
specific
name
audience.
is J.J.Abrams.
Yeah, he's like, which one of my friends isn't in these yet? Because we've got the guy from Lost and the other guy from Lost now, who's Beaumont Kin.
Beaumont
Yeah,
Kin, here's the
Beaumont Kin.
problem that I have with all this Beaumont Kin talk. Beaumont Kin also, he a hobbit, and I love him in those movies, right? That's that guy.
Yeah,
For
Oh,
sure.
yeah, it definitely
Yeah.
is.
I have a tough
No
time
one's denying
hating
that
him.
Beaumont Kin is played by Dominic Monaghan.
And there's also
It's
the guy from
what are the
first
other two
season of
hobbits' names,
Queer
Jim?
as
Do you know?
Folk.
I can't.
Pippin And Mary.
Mary.
The UK queers folk.
Mariodoc Brandybuck and Peregrine Took.
Lord of the Rings. Now that's got some fucking good nonsense names. Let's talk about Lord of the Rings, you guys.
Matt,
Lord of the Rings, The Rise of Baggins.
I bought Outer Wilds. I hate it.
Yeah.
hate
Why
that
did you buy it? It's on Game Pass.
Oh, it's not
Because
on
of
PC
his
Game
shame.
Pass. I
Well,
thought
you
it
should have
was.
asked Matthew
Shame
because
of
I could have
going
told you.
on the thing and
People really
That
like
game
it, but the
sucks.
actual like act of playing that game sucks. The
I feel like
controls
that's
are
a game
trash.
you say you like to seem smart.
Oh, that's not nice. Or true.
You know, I shouldn't drink when I bought these podcasts.
You have
I
had
just-
one sip of that hard cider, sir. For fuck's
Oh, it's a
sake.
beer. It's a beer.
Sure.
Maybe I'm just in a bad mood today.
Uh-huh.
Edit that out. No, don't edit that out. Or, I don't know. Do it if you want. Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle.
That game is dope.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun. It's harder than you'd think like a little cutesy kitty game would be.
Oh boy, my 8-year-old plays that game.
I got Dishonored 1 and 2, which was then free a week later. If you are on Epic Game Store, you can go on there right now and get them both for free, which is very annoying.
Did your purchase come with Death of the Outsider?
Yeah, it came with all the DLC. and
Well,
stuff.
then you got the better deal because Death of the Outsider is amazing.
mm-hmm.
I haven't played that one yet.
You should.
And the Witches
it's a
of
great
Dunwall.
cap to the series.
Yeah, I think I've got all that stuff. How do I know?
Friends.
Yeah.
Listen to this.
Oh, is this about Dominic
Pivot.
Monaghan?
Abrams offered the role of Beaumont Kin, which Monaghan got after England won against Colombia in round 16 of the 2018 FIFA World Cup as part of a bet with Abrams. Beaumont Kin exists because J.J. Abrams lost a bet.
Oh, I rewatched. I think I told you I rewatched Last Jedi last time, and there is a fat guy in one shot who blows up.
Bad guy.
piloting a-
Porkins, for sure.
No, it is not Porkins.
Son of Porkins.
Do you know what his name is?
Porkins Jr.?
Tubbs.
Come
Come on, Star Wars.
I mean, that's an homage, John. There's a
Yes.
difference.
And
That's Ryan Johnson going, you know what? Fuck you, George Lucas. You can't hide it with calling him Porkins. It was a fat joke, and I'm going to do it again and make it more obvious.
At least the actor was like the assistant director doing a cameo, so he's having fun. He wasn't like, oh, I'm auditioning for Tubbs. Fist of
Any
the North
actor would have
Star,
loved to have gotten the part of Tubbs.
Lost Paradise, which is like it's based on the Yakuza series, but it's a Fist of the North Star game, but it
Sounds
plays
terrible.
and looks just like a Yakuza game. It is quite great. Everyone is muscle men in leather, which is kind of my thing, and is pretty fun. Everyone explodes though when you touch them because he's got like all these different anime techniques for exploding people. And he yells out the same things every time you do a special move, which gets really annoying really fast. Also, I bought the pack of all the unlockable Smash characters because I really wanted to play as Joker with my friend last night, and I, made poor financial decisions because it was like $30.
Joker's great! And then you get Dragon
Joker-
Quest Hero, and he's
Yep.
weird, and you get Banjo-Kazooie, and that's fun. And
Terry
you get
Bogard.
Terry Bradshaw.
Terry Bradshaw.
Terry Bradshaw.
Terry
And
Are
you
you
get
ready for
Terry
Super
Bradshaw
Bowl?
in Super Smash Brothers. And he's coach, right? I don't know. It doesn't matter.
John Madden coming in 2020.
And they still won't put Waluigi in the
They
game.
won't. It's crazy. And Terry Bogard, listen to me. He sucks. Ryu's already in that game, gang, and so is Ken. We don't need the knockoff version of those characters. But no Waluigi.
really like
I'm
Terry
legit
Bogard.
mad about it. That package of characters I spent $25 on that. I expect each of those characters to be outstanding.
I still have to get the Nintendo Online so I can get the Piranha Plant because apparently that one is pretty fun.
I have the Nintendo Online, but I don't have. Oh, I guess it's not on that account. Maybe. Nah, whatever. Never mind.
Anyway, Matt, how did you level up?
Ooh, saving the best for last. I get it. I got it. I understand. I've been gone for a while. I took a break. Went on hiatus. Went on vacation. It was nice. So many things I could
This
talk
is
about.
the third episode that you have started your level up by saying that you have been gone for a while. Eventually, you're going to have to stop saying it.
Got a lot of things that I could talk about. You know, saw Star Wars, thought it was pretty mediocre. Saw a Cats movie, thought it was pretty amazing. But I think I've talked about those things before. Played some Jedi Fallen Order. It's like Dark Souls, but worse. Played some Pillars of Eternity. It's like Dungeons and Dragons, but somehow more complicated. I don't know what's happening in that game. But, you know, the real level ups, gang, it's the life stuff. You know, had a lot of family in town for the holidays. Had to take my son to the emergency room for New Year's.
Yes, this was terrible. Tell that story. It's so sad.
No, thank you. And had second Thanksgiving for dinner tonight, because that's what we're doing around here in Florida.
I was thinking about doing that, like a nice holiday dinner at the end of this month for Janmas, just because I've never cooked a turkey before, so I want to try it.
Yeah, it's not that hard. Don't try to do some fancy bullshit. Just cook it with a whole shitload of butter for the prescribed amount of time for the weight, and you'll be perfect. It's really not that hard.
That's what I'm gonna do.
I would like to say for the listeners, since I did bring it up, Matt's son is okay, so don't worry about it.
Yes, he is fine. And
Wait.
So I guess my level up, gang, is that I went and did all sorts of non-podcast related things, but really, I just missed the podcast and all three of you and your beautiful faces. And I'm glad to be back on, and I missed being on. I'm not sad that I did not have to play Yakuza. That game looked terrible.
It was fun.
Oh, I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'm glad that I didn't have to play it, and I'm on board to play some Knights of the Old Republic, some BioWare. And with that being said, I know everybody thinks that maybe it's time that we should jump into the quest log, but you're wrong, because we have to talk about something else. This is the first episode of a new season. We need to talk about our history with this dumb game.
Ooh.
Ooh.
My history with this dumb game is that I've never played it. So, Jim.
That's my history too.
Oh, God damn it.
I've never played this game. I've heard it talked about a lot.
Yeah, for sure. People don't like it as much as the original, right? That's the impression I've always gotten.
I thought people liked it
People
more.
liked it more.
I don't.
Yeah, I
That's-
thought people liked it more. I was under the impression this game was gonna look and feel completely different, but it feels like exactly the same.
Yes,
game.
it does. It looks exactly the same. It's definitely the same engine. It's 100% the same engine, and maybe the same generation. It doesn't seem to look any better or different. Still
this game
open in
came
those
out-
plasteel containers.
This game came out, I think, like a year and a half after KOTOR 1. And this is a lot like how Fallout New Vegas is. And this is what Obsidian did for those two games, is like they came in and took an existing game and then just like used exactly the same assets and everything and then made a much better story.
I mean, that's a great idea that
Yeah.
I feel like more companies... That's a great idea that more companies should emulate.
Except for Ubisoft, who does that with Assassin's Creed every year.
I'm playing this on a different... we should throw this in as well. I'm playing this on a different console than I did last time. Last time, if you remember, I played KOTOR on my phone because that game was available on iOS. KOTOR 2 is not. I'm playing it now on my PC, my laptop. What about you guys? And also, I don't think John and Vanessa said what their history was.
My history is I've played about half this game on Xbox Original, but I never finished it, so I'm looking forward to finally seeing what all the hubbub is about. Already I can see the writing is better. I think that it's more like the powers, the list of powers is like tripled compared to the first game.
Yeah.
So that's awesome.
It's weird because I'm like level 6 and I'm already like, none of these powers are any good. I did notice that battle meditation is in there, which in the last game they were like, whoa, you've got battle meditation? That's crazy. And now it's like, yeah, no, definitely +2 to your saving throws for 20 seconds. Cool. Super cool.
What about you, Vanessa?
I have played this game before, probably more than once, although I could not give
Wow.
you an exact number. I like KOTOR very much, and I also like KOTOR 2. In the past, I have preferred the first one, so we'll see if maybe with my baby adult eyes, I will have a different experience.
Baby adult eyes.
Are you playing the restored content mod? Because I am.
I am. I downloaded the restored content mod from the Steam Workshop, as did John. I do not remember it well enough to be able to identify what's restored and what's original, but I guess we'll find out talking to our pals here.
What about you two?
No, I forgot to download that before I started playing, and I'm not going to restart now because this chunker is 14 hours.
That's 4 hours.
Yeah, 40 hours.
Jim?
Nope, I didn't download the mod. I didn't even know there was such a thing. But yeah, I'm playing it just like Matthew is. Only I didn't take 14 hours to do the chunker. I did it in like 70 minutes.
I jacked up all my settings so that it would look cool, but all the cutscenes run janky, so I wonder if that's a settings thing. But, you know, maybe I won't get all the cutscenes. That's fine. That can't be very
I'm having
important.
some jank issues, too, where the screen goes black, and I have to shrink the window and then blow it back up again to get the cutscene to show.
I think
It's
I'm
interesting
having
that Jim and John have heard that this is the better iteration of Star Wars. I wonder, I'm trying to remember what it is that I've heard about this game before now, and I do feel like jankiness and brokenness is a big part of it. And I also want to say that I think that I remember that being a big problem with New Vegas, right? Is that an Obsidian thing? Do they just suck at programming? Is it
Yes.
a writer's thing? Like, they're good writers, but boy, they're not good at making games.
Well, I think also they think that they can do a game in a year and a half, and they can't, and then they have to spend like a year fixing it. Like, this is a vampire thing, this is a New Vegas thing, and this is a this game thing.
I mean, I guess you might even look at that situation and say it's not that they think that they can do it in a year and a half. It's that they know they can shit it out in a year and a half and spend a year fixing it.
That's cynical. Before
That's a good
we
point.
get started with the quest log, I just want to apologize first to Dominic Monaghan and to Vanessa for implying that his role in Star Wars was just to appeal to a certain demographic.
Definitely was.
Oh,
And I also
It's
want
not
to
his fault
apologize
that that's what the role was.
to people who love The Outer Wilds. I'm sure you have valid reasons for enjoying it. I just don't understand what I'm supposed to be doing, and I hate it.
Fly the poorly controlled rocket ship to another planet and then just explore, man. Like, just explore.
and on behalf of myself and that pint-sized thirst trap, Dominic Monaghan, I thank you for your apology.
Thirst trap.
Classic Vanessa. Such a horn dog.
They didn't have to do all that special camera tricks to make him look small.
Once again, apologies to
I'm sorry. I once again apologize to Dominic Monaghan for implying he's a tiny elf of a man.
I think that's going to have to be our episode title.
think you're
Apologies to Dominic.
That's perfect.
All right. Is everybody ready for the quest log?
The Codex.
Oh, the codex? Okay, well, type that in
the
there.
Jedi Codex.
Type that
What
in
did we
there
roll
on the
last time? I
document.
forgot to open the notes.
Or is it called it's called the Chronicron,
It's
right?
a journal. It's just the
Holocron?
journal.
Oh,
Well, the
There's a
Jedis
thing.
can look at a holocron.
yeah, the Holocron.
What's the thing that the Transformers are after? Isn't that also called the holocron?
No, that's Energon.
Oh, right.
I thought isn't the holocron also a Jedi Fallen Order MacGuffin?
Yes.
Yes.
Probably.
Yes. I have been playing a lot of Jedi Fallen Order. I'm playing on hard.
What? Why?
I don't know, for funsies.
Is it fun
He
though?
does those things.
It makes the combat pretty tricky. Like the before you get the force powers and you're fighting that clockwork knight thing, that's
Mhm.
pretty hard. And then you
I
get the force
accidentally
powers.
went to the hard planet first and spent like an hour getting killed repeatedly.
Wait, are we
I think
talking
you
about
need-
Jedi Fallen Order now?
Yeah. Anyway,
Jim
we'll
is
get back to
apparently.
That was.
That game.
All right, let's,
It's fine.
Load up the
It's
Sith
like all Star Wars
Wayfinder
fucking is now.
and go to Exogen.
Let's go do my shit Lord Journal.
So first
That's
of all,
right,
you get
Shitlord
the
Journal.
optional tutorial where you play as some robots, and it's quite cute. It just
It's a great tutorial.
It's
Mhm.
delightful. I'm gonna go make a drink.
It's fun.
So is T3M4? He's the first returning character from KOTOR 1, right?
Is he? Is he the same robot?
I think it is. Because the Ebon Hawk is also kind of a character, and that
Yeah.
returns.
It's like Sex and the City. The Ebon Hawk is the 5th character.
Exactly. And the Ebon Hawk is kind of
we had
messed
so
up.
much fun on the Ebon Hawk before. Aren't you happy to be back?
Sure. I like that
But
ship.
everything's broken.
Yeah, like it kind of gives you a little bit of like pretext that the Ebon Hawk has been disabled and attacked, and there's a jet. Does it tell you there's a special passenger or a Jedi on board? I think
There's some kind of special passenger.
Yeah, and you're playing as T3M4, and you're going around fixing stuff and trying to get the hyperdrive back online so you can dock for emergency repairs at the closest facility, which is Peragus 2.
Mm-hmm. And the ship is talking you through this.
The ship is kind of patronizing.
The ship is very patronizing. The ship is like, this is a door. You can open a door.
You
like,
look
yeah, I'm
left
sure the
and
robot
right
knows.
using Q and E. Thanks, ship.
Excuse me? Q and E?
think
I
so.
guess you can.
Yeah. Jim, you're playing? How do you make a controller work, or does it just work natively?
There's a setting in Steam to turn on the Xbox controller support.
Oh, I didn't.
And
I
I
didn't
just
try
clicked-
it.
I just clicked the little button and plugged in my controller, and it worked fine.
Oh, okay. I'll have to try that with my Xbone controller.
Yeah, do it.
So you find another droid named 3CFD, and you and that droid go around scrounging for parts, and you get the hyperdrive back online. You have to like disarm some mines, and I just love playing as the droids. Same with like KOTOR 1 barely featured droids at all, and I think that's one thing that KOTOR 2 does much better. A lot more droid time.
KOTOR 1 had a couple in the party, right?
It just had, well, it had
HK-47
HK-47 and T3M4,
Okay.
I think.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
And you can also, John, I think you said that you didn't do this, but you can enter the med bay and find yourself, that is, the player character that you created,
mhm.
Lying unconscious, and you can administer a med pack. And the game does refer to the person as you, even though you're not controlling, quote-unquote, you're controlling the robot. It's pretty far out.
Huh.
Hey, speaking of you, maybe we should take a moment and talk about the characters that we generated to start this journey.
I think
Oh.
that's a great idea. Vanessa, you go first.
Okay. I decided to play as a Jedi Consular because that is what fits my personality best, and I was very boring and just let the game choose a name for me. So her name is Castagracus. It was the first name that popped up, and it sounded great to me. Castagracus, the Jedi Consular. How about you, Jim?
I made a Lady Jedi Sentinel, and her name is Chungus Mora.
Nice.
That's wonderful.
How
So
about
what
you, John?
I am playing as a Jedi Consular, which it said is the advanced option, so I figured that's like as good as hard mode, right?
And then you put it on hard mode on top of that. That's crazy.
Was there a hard? Did I?
You said you did.
Oh, well, I said I did for Jedi Fallen Order. I don't think there's a difficulty in this game.
Oh, there sure is. You just have to go into the options.
Into the terminal and throw it to. No, it's fine. Because I like is that the purple or is that the yellow lightsaber? Because I like both of those colors.
I thought that Consular was green.
Oh, well, that sucks.
I'm not sure.
And
Jedi Consular.
I just-
lightsaber color.
I decided to name my Jedi the most like sci-fi Star Wars name I could imagine. Ford Aerostar.
That's beautiful.
That's pretty good.
It's got star right there in the name.
Yeah.
Exactly. You might remember last time was Chunk Meat Lover. I don't think I can do any better than that, but I think Ford Aerostar is a good space name.
Yeah, consulars generally use green or yellow.
Okay. So, you then, after you fix the hyperdrive, you can dock with Peragus 2.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah. This is a planet that has been exploded partially by like fracking. Basically, there's some fuel rocks that they're trying to get out that are hyper explosive, and that's why there's a big asteroid belt surrounding the station. The station is, I think, built onto a chunk of the rock of the planet that got blasted out into space.
Yes, but it's not a proper planet, and it's very difficult to dock into because you need the clearance coordinates to navigate this treacherous area of space. This sounds very familiar to a plot point I have experienced recently in another film, which I will not mention the title of right now.
Little Women.
But it's Little Women.
We don't have the docking coordinates. We can't.
There's no way we could find our way through this space nebula.
Wow. Greta Gerwig really did a great job adapting that for modern times.
Yeah, she made it relevant.
Exactly. So you wake up in a Kolto tank, not a Bacta tank.
Yes, when I was typing up the notes, I did type it as Bacta tank. And John called me a fake nerd girl and said that Star Wars was not for me, and it never was.
I did not. You're just mad about my Dominic
my
Monaghan comments.
SJW agenda out of here.
John sent a 4,000 word DM to Vanessa.
God. I did no such thing. I just went into the document and then corrected without telling her.
Yeah, he just deleted what I had written and wrote his own thoughts and opinions over the top of it.
That's why John kept calling Vanessa JJ before we started.
I think it's more that he would call me Rian, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
You can't do a hyperspace jump through another ship.
Remember how dumb that was, everyone?
So you wake up in a Kolto tank. Nobody's around, but you do hear a voice telling you to awaken. A lady voice.
I assume it's the alarm clock.
Yeah. Wake up. Wake up.
Ooh, that would be a creepy alarm clock.
Oh, I kind of like... Should get a Kriya alarm clock.
Just soft, gentle coaxing.
Yeah, but kind of ominous at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Wake up.
Like a new day.
You have
Soft
tasks
and gentle,
that must
but
be done.
ominous.
There are things you must do. So you do wake up. You emerge from one of these Kolto tanks. You're surrounded by a bunch of other people, but they're like fully dressed. You're just in your underwears. And the other people are like fully dressed.
You're in your underwear for a while.
Yes.
Mhm.
I think at least this time the game comments on it.
Yeah, which is great.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that part.
The first place you can head to is the morgue. There is a dead lady.
I think we should note that the people are in tanks of their own.
Yes, they have their own tanks and they're fully dressed.
They are, however, dead.
Well, you don't know that.
That
until-
legitimately shocked me to find out that they were all dead. It's like, well,
Yeah,
why are
because-
they keeping them in the tanks?
Yeah. What I did is I went to a computer console, and you can check the patient status, and
Yeah.
it does tell you that they are dead.
Yeah, I think you need like some computer repair skills to like loop in there to get the details. But they have been administered a fatal dose of a sedative, I think.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you were too, but you survived.
Because of your Jedi
mind
training.
stuff. Yeah.
So you go to the morgue, and I think you saw this body of this woman in the ship. If you did the tutorial with T3M4.
Yes, I did.
Yeah. She is there. It's this older lady in full robes with like long, cool braided hair. I really like her, but she's dead.
Yeah, she looks great. It's a pity she's dead.
And then you decide to like take a look around and try and figure out this mystery of why there's no one walking around this mining operation.
Mm-hmm.
But the robots are attacking you, and there's some really gross corpses. I like the detail. If you swing the camera around to these corpses, they've all had their faces blown off.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa.
It's pretty gnarly, man.
Oh man, this is Star Wars Extreme.
This isn't a Jedi game for kids.
This is interesting, John, because this is different than my experience in the morgue.
Oh, what
I
happened?
don't remember that
Uh,
either.
Well, I mean, there were robots later.
No,
but,
the robots
bef-
later. Sorry, yeah, there were
yeah,
no robots.
Before I encountered those, I did try to loot a corpse that I found in the morgue, and I think it had a vibroblade on it. And I got it, and then when I turned around, the old lady had risen from her death slab, and she is a ghost now. She was clearly pretending not to be a ghost. She was pretending to be a corpse. I'm very upset with her, and she's like, "Did you find what you needed among the dead?" And yeah, we had a little conversation.
Okay, that
She
did not happen
speaks-
for me.
She speaks 200 times more cryptically than she needs to.
She does.
This,
You're
yeah,
like,
Vanessa,
who are
this-
you? And she's like, who is anyone?
I just left, Vanessa. Like,
You just left?
I just left. She didn't talk to me. I found a vibro sword
Wow.
later. That's really weird.
I mean, this is, we're playing a Western RPG. It's not on rails. We're all going to have slightly different experiences.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, she tells me, like, hey, why don't you look around and find out what's going on here? I'm going to rest because I was very dead and do need to recover from that.
I think in my game, when I'm looking at the computers or something, she shows up and she's like, "Hello, I'm not dead."
Oh.
She speaks to you through your mind hole multiple times.
Yes,
She does do that.
Yes, and I'm like, "Oh, you're that lady that I heard when I was waking up." She's like, "Was I?"
Then
Yeah.
you're like, so you're like a Jedi, right? You're an Am I?
I could be.
What is a Jedi, really?
Is it a Jedi or a Jed you? What? That doesn't even make sense. Does it not make sense, or does sense not make you?
Yeah, she honestly gets on my nerves pretty quickly with her cryptic BS.
And her name is Kriya.
Yeah,
And
but in general, she's a nice enough old lady.
yeah, she seems mysterious.
Mm-hmm.
I don't trust her, but she's
Oh,
mysterious.
you don't?
No, she's got something going on, especially, well, you'll see later in this chunker.
Your character is weirdly hostile to her in all the dialogue options.
Well, she is kind of evasive.
But she's also like the only living person you found on the ship.
That
Well,
probably makes her guilty.
when I'm walking around this mining
Her process of
operation,
elimination.
That's right.
there's robots and the corpses with their faces charred off. But there's also a man in a prison cell, and he is very much alive. And this man,
He is.
He's a real wisecracker.
he's a
This
real
guy.
space Dennis Leary. And his name is Atten Rand, and he's got some
wait.
opinions you might
Was
not
it
be ready
Dennis Leary?
for. Dennis Miller?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you made it. Okay, I thought you said somebody else. Never mind.
He's a real Dennis Miller.
He's
Dennis
got-
Miller. That's who I was
That's
thinking
right.
of.
He's a real space Dennis Miller, and he's got some opinions about women he is ready to tell you.
Oh boy.
Yeah. John, we also had different experiences with this encounter because you are playing a male character and I am playing a female character.
He was kind of mad that I was walking around in underwear because he's like, "Oh, no homo. I don't want to see you in
Oh,
with your
weird.
underwear, you dweeb."
I can't
Yeah,
look at
and-
bodies in a non-sexual context, therefore it's your fault if you turn me on.
Yeah, in my case, he's like, hello. Nice to see you. Love the outfit.
Yeah.
I know it's
I'm
not
playing as
blue.
I'm playing as a lady as well. I decided to play
Ooh.
just like full-blown evil, so
Oh, nice.
So, of course, you had to be a woman.
white woman felt like the most evil
Wow.
option I could pick.
It's a regular Dennis Leary here.
Yeah, that's right.
Space
me,
Dennis
Dennis
Miller.
Leary.
Space
Women,
Dennis Miller.
they're
is
the real
like-
problem.
I don't know if you've met I don't know if you're gonna decide to go all red lightsaber on me, but if you do, watch out, because you think that male Sith are bad, space
Yes, he does.
ladies
Yes.
are the worst.
He does say that.
I mean, not in those words. The way he phrases it is much worse. So,
I have it saved to our Facebook group. I can tell you exactly what he said.
hey, did we discuss what we named our Jedi?
We
yes. What
Can
did
I-
you
What'd you
name?
name yours?
Can I tell you what I named my? Can I hear what yours were? I would like to.
Mine is a random name that the game gave me. Castagracus.
What is it? Casagracus.
Castagracus.
Castagracus.
Welcome to Casa Gracchus, where we
Yeah.
have the best
Welcome to
Mediterranean cuisine.
Casagracus. Hey, Jim. What about you?
Chungus Mora.
Of course, Chungus Mora. That makes sense. John.
Ford Aerostar.
That's pretty good. That's real on brand for John. My character's name is Jellicle Cat with a K.
Nice.
Jellicle Cat. And I do definitely sing a little song to myself, like when I upgrade my force powers, when I level up, like Jellicles can do what Jellicles can do this, Jellicles can do that. Jellicles can't hit you with force lightning because they're a Jellicle Cat. Jellicles can dominate your mind because
It's not how song
Jellicles
go.
can and Jellicles do. Oh.
That's not how song go. The males are bad enough, but when a woman falls to the dark side, you better space yourself before they catch you. Am I right? Huh, fellas?
That is what he says. And bold of him to say it to my character, who is a woman.
Is the line about going red lightsaber, is that from this, or is that from Fallen Order?
I don't remember that line, so maybe it's from Fallen Order.
I don't remember that from Fallen Order either. So I think you're making it up, is my point. Oh.
Well, there's something...
I do remember a conversation where he asks what color your lightsaber was, and he was like, "Oh, it wasn't red, was it?"
Yeah, I think it's that. I think it is Atten Rand here.
Yes, his name is Atten Rand. I assume that he named himself Rand after the philosophy that he most proudly espouses.
Mm-hmm. He is
You
definitely
say this
Randian.
like I expected Vanessa to be totes into this dude.
Wow.
He's got floppy hair.
Whoa.
He's
That's
a
true.
scoundrel.
He is a scoundrel.
I'm learning to not guess who Vanessa is attracted to, because I thought she would be all in on Hux from Star Wars because he looks like Prince Lacroix from Vampire the Masquerade. And she is not. She's like, he's a Nazi.
He is a Nazi.
So what's your
He's a
Atten
terrible
Rand,
person.
floppy-haired boy opinion?
He's no Cartha Nazi, I'll tell you that.
You thought that she would be into a Nazi? All right.
Well, he looks like Prince Lacroix.
He's a Nazi.
Prince.
That's true. But
Again,
spoiler.
John.
oh,
Yeah,
Fucking
spoiler alert.
spoilers. Shut the fuck up. God damn it.
sorry.
Are you editing this
You're gonna have
episode,
to
John?
beep out. No, you are. So you're gonna
God
have to beep
damn
out
it.
a lot of stuff I say.
Hey, Jim, Matt, John, there is something that I've been wanting to tell you.
Yes.
What's that?
Does anybody think that Hux in Star Wars Rise of Skywalker sounds exactly like the Monarch in the Monarch in Venture Brothers?
I've
It
never seen
does.
Venture Brothers.
It does, right?
So we encounter this fellow who either is disgusted or delighted that we're in our underwear. You sort of interrogate him as to what went on, and he said he's just been in his cell the whole time. He doesn't know, but he does know that a Jedi showed up and some people wanted to sell the Jedi to a organization called the Exchange.
Hey, Vanessa.
Yeah.
You've played this game before, right?
Yeah.
Have you played good? I assume you've played good and bad then.
Maybe I have. Maybe I haven't.
I'm a little wary of this game and like responses that I give to people. How likely is it that I'm going to lock myself out of quests by being a dickhead?
It's definitely possible.
That's really fucking annoying.
Yeah, I actually locked myself out of quest by being a nice guy.
Ooh.
Because there was one of those situations where two different parties want two different things, and I told one party, oh, sure, I'll do this thing for you, and assumed that I'd have the opportunity to then say, like, go talk to the other people and find out what they wanted me to do, but they were just like, oh, I guess you're working for that guy. So, yeah, make your choices carefully.
I was really surprised because I think there's 2 interactions in this chunker where you can earn light side or dark side points.
2?
Both?
There's like
There's
30.
At least 2. Is it? No.
Yeah, I gain light side and dark side points constantly.
My game only said like 2 times, I think.
That's
but
crazy.
I was really surprised because
You're playing it so in the middle.
So inconsequential.
Of course.
The first interaction, I got light side points, and then the second interaction, I got light side and dark side points.
Wow.
So who knows where I'm at?
I really do like the system. Vanessa, were you just talking about this? The system where you gain and lose friendship points with people or affinity if you make decisions they
No,
don't
we
like?
haven't
We
mentioned
were
that,
talking
but
about
it is
that.
pretty cool.
John, I was kind of looking for a bit of maybe guidance on how to navigate this light side, dark side system if somebody wants to play evil but doesn't want to constantly get fucking locked out of shit. Jim revealed that he is already playing it so hard in the middle that he basically didn't gain light side or dark side points in this entire chunker, which is insane.
I did probably end up neutral.
Because I definitely did get them like every 10 seconds for every action that I
How?
made. I don't know, man. You're
Jim
just
is
fucking. You're just Jim. Just go with it,
Jim
dude.
is
Go with the flow.
A centrist Jedi, the real
He's a great Jedi.
Hillary Clinton of Jedis.
Okay.
Whoa.
John, getting
Whoa,
fucking
whoa,
political
whoa.
now. Sorry. Too centrist for John's taste, am I right? I say as he holds his Bernie Sanders mug up high.
Jill Stein 5 ever.
Oh, boy. 5 ever. It's a lot of ever. So how do I play a Dark Jedi in this game and not fuck myself? And what are friendship points?
I think you
You gotta live with your choices, bro.
Do I?
think
I don't like that.
You
That's
have
not why I
to
play
make-
video games.
you can make
play
evil
video games
choices.
to escape consequences.
Basically, you know how your friends are like, hey, maybe I can like totally kill this dude who was a jerk to me before, and if you want to be dark side but still have friends, you'll be like, yeah, man, that's a great idea. Let's totally kill him and smash his head in.
So I shouldn't
Because
just
then
be
you're doing-
fucking mean to everybody is what you're saying.
Yeah, you should be corrupting, not just mean.
This reflects a
Like-
real life problem that I have where I can't seem to figure out how to be a terrible influence but not just be super mean to everybody, you fucking stupid dickhead.
Aww.
Hey, that makes me feel like being mean right back. Oh, I think I'm being swayed to the dark side.
Hey
Oh,
Vanessa, can I just say this is can we have a little aside from the podcast? I switched
course. Yeah.
from my phone
Jim and I will
to my
not
I
listen.
switched from my tablet to my phone because my tablet died. And listen, I don't know why the thing is the way it is, but on my phone, it's the new profile picture that you have for yourself on Google, and as opposed to the old one. And you look so much more professional now, and you're a calming influence. It's like I'm talking to a different person.
Well, thank you very much. I did switch that profile picture because I believed, perhaps erroneously, that it would link to my Lyft account, and I thought that if I looked more professional and less ridiculous, that people would give me better, nicer rides. But I noticed the last time I was in a Lyft that it was the same picture. So there you have it.
You do
I
look
get
very
some
reassuring
Yeah.
in your photo.
She looks like she's A, gonna hand me her card, and B, is definitely gonna do a great job on my, let's just say, refinance or new policy.
Vanessa, she just scored you a big refund on your taxes.
For
She's about to
sure.
shake your hand.
Very just calming and reassuring, though, you know?
That was a photo that was taken when I was working in a past life. Get out your Vanessa journals. This is a big one.
Wait, this isn't a new picture? This is an
Vanessa-
old picture?
It is an old picture.
Oh.
Remember
You
my hint
fake!
before that you should be putting in fake facts about yourself so that people go down the wrong rabbit hole of searching for you.
Okay, so this is when I worked as a hotel manager.
All right, but hang on. I'm not clever and I'm not smart enough to keep up with all the bullshit. So if she does lie to me, I will get confused. And it'll cause problems later on.
he
I'll be
will
like, you were a
believe
hotel
that I was
manager.
actually-
You told me. Don't lie to me.
Yeah, this was a picture taken at a place of employment where part of my job was to be calm and reassuring. So there you go.
I
So
see.
you were a doctor. Got it. Got it.
Until that horrible night.
Until that night when I lay down my scalpel and swore never again would I cut into the flesh of man.
Why she's now the master of the mystic arts. All right, I'm sorry about the big tangent. Let's move back into the podcast where we're going to talk about finding a man in a prison cell. Nope, we already talked about that. T3M4, my best bud. I love that
Yay.
droid.
Talking about that again?
Love that droid.
Yeah, we're back to droiding around.
Oh.
Droiding around.
Welcome
We
back
let
to Droiding
Aton-
Around. Beep, boop, beep, boop.
How does everybody feel about the fact that this game does, with its subtitles, just translate the droid's bleeps and bloops, but then expects you to understand what it said? Does anybody else notice that? I get
I
so
love that.
confused.
I
It's
love
always
it.
driven me fucking insane in the Star Wars universe how everybody just understands the bleeps and bloops of all the robots. It's like nobody. It's not a language.
Yeah, but it's cute.
You
because
understand what your Siri says to you.
That's
But
different.
Siri
It
speaks in a language, not its own language. That I
Maybe
can
yours
inherently
does.
understand.
But Vanessa's Siri just bleeps and bloops.
Jim, that's just the, suspension of disbelief that you have to have. So anyway, bleep, bloop, boop, doop, 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 doop,
But anyway, let's complain about the robot language.
Siri, set an alarm for 2:30. Beep, beep, beep.
All right, T3M4 is my favorite droid.
And what about BD1?
BD1's pretty great too, right? Is BD1 not the best part of fucking...
BD1 is definitely the best.
Yeah.
He is. Or she. I don't know how I feel about gendering droids.
That's a good point. It's more of a they or an it.
Yeah, I'd say
They feels...
is a good one.
Yeah. They
You
feels
should
more.
ask the droid how they prefer to.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, well, ideally, that's what I would do, but that's not always a possibility because I don't speak beep boop.
Nobody does.
I mean, I do. I just did for you.
Whoa.
That sounds like how George Lucas pitched the robot language.
Well, somebody do the damn bloop bloops. Bloop bloop blop bloop blop bloop 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 bloop. That reminds me, J.J. Abrams is the voice of B.O. in the new Star Wars because that guy sucks. The movie sucks. Sorry.
Remember when he lost a
Sorry.
vet to Dominic Monaghan,
That can't
and
be
so he had
true.
to create a character named Beaumont
The
Kin?
new narrative that JJ was not in control of the movie and it's all Disney's fault is so convenient to me. I can't buy it. And people are fucking trending. Let's be honest. Let's talk about it right here on the show right now. It's important. In the context of KOTOR, release the Abrams cut is a thing that's happening in the real world right now.
Dominic
That's
Dominic
true.
Monaghan was I was
No.
laying in bed last night reading the news and I saw a headline. Dominic
Monaghan.
advocates for the release of
No. No.
Yeah, the Abrams cut. I'm serious. That was the headline.
Sorry,
makes
what's
me
his
wanna
name?
burn it all
Beauregard
down.
Fifi?
What?
Beauregard Kin. I want the Beauregard Kin cut.
God, that story almost didn't go the way I thought it was going to go. I was laying in bed last night with Dominic Monaghan, and he was advocating for the release of the Abrams
he
cut.
wouldn't shut up about it. I was
And I
trying
was
to
telling
sleep,
him.
and he wouldn't shut up about this Abrams.
Dominic, I don't buy it.
Right.
This Star Wars movie is like every goddamn J.J. Abrams movie. You can't tell me that it's not his. Whatever. I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, J.J. Abrams is a real J.K. Rowling, and that he is like
Hoofa
tweeting or in
doofa.
interviews every week now, adding more canon to his movie.
I did like, he did explain.
Yeah, but also it makes no sense in the context of the film.
No,
Well,
it makes no sense in the context of the scene, and frankly, the fact that you thought that that's what he was going to say in that moment makes me think that you're a serial killer. Of course that's not what he was going to say. John, have you ever had a human interaction? Don't kill me,
I
bro.
think that's an important
Don't
thing
kill
that you
me.
maybe just don't have the right time to say. And it's like, there's something I wanted to say. And to me, that would be what he wanted to say. But I am also a
It would
serial
be a
killer.
really weird thing to say at the time. It would be the equivalent of being like, I got into grad school. Or something, you know?
To me, it
Again,
makes
no
sense
spoilers
because
for the new Star Wars, but I
he's
did
in
like
love
the
with
fact
Poe.
that I liked that Finn was. I wanted to be in love with Poe, but that's not the direction they went with it, John. The new Star Wars, the whole idea that I loved that. People complain about that. I thought it was super fun. No spoilers,
Why
so we'll
would you
bleep that
complain
out.
about that?
I don't know.
That felt like the one thing in the movie they didn't have a bunch of shitty exposition to overly explain.
I thought it was
Right?
And Last Jedi had the same, like, it started in Last Jedi and continued, and they didn't drop it or rewrite it in this one, so I was happy.
I don't pick that up
listen.
from watching Last Jedi at all. I've watched that movie a dozen times. What are you talking about?
Y'all. I don't know why you don't know this.
Shut up.
And that's why.
Shut
That can't.
up.
I won't accept it if that's the case. I will leave. I'm done. Show me the door.
You'll leave. Leave what? The podcast studio?
No, I meant
Just
my
gonna
Star
leave.
Wars
He's gonna
fandom.
walk out.
Actually, I was referring to my Star Wars fandom, basically.
All right, we are barely into this game.
I know.
feel
I've
like
disappeared
we've
for
made
like
some progress.
20 minutes, and then I came back and derailed us for like 40 minutes. It was pretty good. My phone is all slipping
So
off.
you let Aton out of the Colo tank.
We've been out of the
Why
tank
is it a
for
Colto tank and not a
minute.
fucking Bacta
back
tank?
to tank, right? Oh man, we already talked about this.
Yeah. Oh, did you? Sorry.
Because
Sort of.
Drop it. It's
Colto
fine.
was-
No, it's fine. We don't need to rehash it. Just keep going. All right.
It was something in
going.
Knights of the Old Republic 1, if you remember, they were harvesting Colto from, I think, Kashyyyk, right?
Yeah, but why is it a Bacta tank?
Yeah, that doesn't explain anything.
They hadn't invented Bacta yet. This is 5,000 years earlier.
I'm good at that. Ooh, John. But they have a tank that does the exact same fucking thing.
Yes, but it's Colto. And they ran out of it
That's
because
right.
they abused
Also,
it.
this Jedi, not a Jedi, because this is 5,000 years before. This Jedi uses a ray sword, not a lightsaber. It's
Oh,
5,000
did you
years
notice
before.
in The Mandalorian, there's a character that uses
Video.
a vibro sword, and they use this super, like, 80s...
It's not a vibro sword, John.
Wasn't it?
It's not a vibro blade.
What
That's
was...
the?
Are we talking about the end of the? Are you
Yeah.
talking spoilers for the last fucking thing that happens in the last episode, John? Did you think it was a?
Same,
Hang on,
it didn't, I thought it was a vibro sword.
hang on, John.
Yeah,
I thought
Yeah.
the same thing.
yeah. What? So it wasn't...
I did though. I thought the same
No,
thing.
it's
But then I looked at it and I was like, no, that's a very specific look.
But I liked
It's
that
a-
they gave it this weird 80s special effect. They like drew over it with like a really rough looking special effect in a kind of 80s way. Okay. Well, color me wrong, but you get a vibros.
How do you think a vibro sword works? Is it like a jigsaw?
I mean, I
think
assume
it's
that it
like a-
vibrates on like a molecular level. Like it's vibrating at such a, like you, I don't think you would notice it holding it in your hand.
You have
Why
to get
would you
like
need a one that vibrates?
it's like, remember those
Well, let me tell you.
those beds that you put quarters into? There's a big slot on a vibroblade that you have to keep feeding quarters into so that it vibrates at a molecular level,
Yeah.
so that
That's
it
why you
cuts
put
super
that
good.
ion thing in it.
Yeah,
The ion cell.
yeah.
For extra power.
Oh yeah, you want that extra power, don't you?
Well, the
I'll
ion
tell you,
cell
you know, that-
puts like an ion aura-ish, let's call it an aura, around it that does extra damage to droids. Actually, I would love to hear the specifics of how a vibroblade works, which I assume you're about
Well,
to tell
Vanessa
us,
was going to
Vanessa.
tell you, but you interrupted her.
Well, I was going to ask her, but you
Some of
interrupted
them
me.
are battery operated, and some of them you have to plug into the wall.
God damn it, she's
Oh.
just talking about vibrators. Listen, Bad Dragon's not gonna fucking ad, okay? They're not gonna advertise on the show.
Sponsor our show.
I know!
Keep trying. So you talk to T3M4 on the phone, and T3M4 is helping you open up some doors and stuff, and he gets some fuel lines fixed. But then T3M4 gets ambushed by someone out of frame, which is not good.
Yes.
Yeah, this is some real dumb
Ooh.
stuff.
And he
do
does
that.
do the great droid noise, though, of being like, wow.
Yeah. Yeah. Droid sounds are great.
The sound effects are so good. All Star Wars sound effects are just top
I
notch.
guess
Love
it
them.
sounds so much like a Star Wars that I don't really think about it. I have to be honest. But you're right.
It was
I'm
really
not saying
cool
you're
when
wrong.
Dark Forces did it in '94, but now it's like, oh yeah, we kind of heard these sound effects for the past 30 years.
Yeah, are they not just reusing the sound effects? That's what I think. They're definitely these are still
Yeah.
the same sound effects from Star Wars, right?
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure they are. Isn't it interesting, though, that we all know what a lightsaber sounds like, but it's not a real thing?
That is interesting.
I mean, that's just good. That's just good movie making, man.
So Space Dennis Miller asks you to go down to the mines to try and fix some stuff. What are you trying to do? Is that to get the codes?
Yeah, you need some, nav codes for it.
Yeah, he was staying upstairs and working on some computers.
You can.
Yeah.
I mean, you can. I don't know if it works, but I had a dark side option that seemed to say "You go, motherfucker."
Well, then
Yeah, there was that option.
Can you play
guess
as
you
him in
probably
that mine?
play as
I bet you
him.
can.
I bet you can too.
Yeah.
So you go down to the mines, and then you have to trick some robots, or turn the heat up, or blow them
Oh,
up.
hold on. This is where I had my LOL moment in this game came from. You're radioing that dude to let him know your progress, and
Yeah.
he's like, "Hey, are you at the mines?" He's like, "It's probably pretty dangerous down there." And you're like, "Yeah, I found this mining uniform, so I'm not in my underwear anymore." And it cuts to the guy, and he's like, "Oh man."
Very
When
relatable
I-
content is what you're saying. Because I really
When I
wanted to
told
put
him
some
that-
clothes on my woman. But then when I did, I was like, I miss seeing that dumper.
Oh God! Space Dennis Miller.
Yeah, he's really heteronormative. He's not into your male character at all.
Yeah,
Tom.
he
That's too
he
bad.
wants. He's like, oh, thank God you put some clothes on.
I mean, I definitely feel like you're
Yeah,
having a
dude.
different experience than I am, because when my conversations with Space Dennis Miller are him being like, "What's going on? Are you okay?" And me being like, "Shut your fucking mouth and stop contacting."
No, he's kind of a sassy jerk to me. Maybe he likes me.
But it sounds like he's directing you around, whereas I'm directing myself around, and I'm radioing him for updates, basically. What's up? Did you do what I told you to do yet?
Mm.
Uh,
Well, I do have the option every time he calls to be like, "Stop calling me."
Well, you don't want to do that. I mean, maybe you do.
But-
I don't know.
I don't do that. Instead, I use the option, "Cast a Gracchus out."
so
Jellicle
Every
cat out.
conversation. Yeah.
Jellicle
McCavity!
swords for Jellicle cats.
So you meet a protocol droid here who is.
Hey, have we talked about what type of build we're playing?
Yes.
Yes.
God damn it.
But what type of builder?
Did you have to talk about all of this in the first 10 fucking minutes? You're a bunch of assholes.
What kind of build are you playing, Matt?
I'm playing a dual saber or sword right now, wielding dark
Oh, nice.
Jedi. Got some force powers. Got some force lightning. Got some force push. Force scream.
I got a
also
droid
have dominate
shutdown.
mind. Like I've been pushing the. I am upgrading persuade a lot and doing all of the Jedi powers that involve persuasion because I do want to.
Mm-hmm.
Because again, this is an Obsidian game, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And I kind of learned from Outer Worlds like how deep the chatting can be. I don't know if this game's going to live up to Outer Worlds level of talking your way through shit. But I don't know. I'm definitely pushing all those powers because I definitely just want to be able to dominate everybody's minds. You know. You know how that go.
I do.
I think you'll be very pleased with how robust the relationship system is in this game and how much it actually affects.
That's cool. I hope so.
So you find a protocol droid, and if you've played KOTOR 1, you have kind of a spoiler right away, because it's an HK droid, which you know is an assassin droid.
Yes.
But he says he is a protocol droid, and suggests you wait for rescue. He also talks about how everyone on the ship was there's slowly a series of accidents that were meticulously planned by some kind of genius, which I quite like.
Yeah.
And he talks about how the dumb humans were going to the habitat level, but maybe something bad happened and someone cut their air off. But that person must have been super smart to be able to do that, because that's pretty tricky.
Yeah, and you can be like, oh, well, they might still be alive. I should definitely go there. And he's like, you should definitely wait here and not go there.
Mm-hmm. But you kind of ignore what he's saying. But you can't even go to this habitat ring unless you get a voice passcode from space mechanic Timothy Omundson. Omundson?
Are you talking about Sykes Detective Lassiter, a.k.a. Timothy Osmondson, a.k.a. Supernatural's Kane,
Yes.
a.k.a. the Leprechaun King from Luck of the Irish?
Yes.
AKA, I don't know any of these roles.
A.k.a. the King from Gallivant?
He's a fun voice actor. He's got a lot of personality. But he's just doing assorted. So this will be the first of our Timothy Omundson notices.
Oh, does he do a bunch of voices in this game? That's
he
fun.
does a bunch of voices in this game.
That's fine.
I
That
really
makes
like
sense. I don't have a problem with that.
I mean,
it's fun.
I worked on 5 seasons of Psych, so I have a lot of Timothy Omundson experience.
Oh,
And
well.
I've seen 5 seasons of Psych, so I also have a lot of experience.
Well, I think that
I like him very much. He's a great actor. He did have a major stroke a while ago, but
Yeah,
has
pretty
recovered from
recently.
it.
Whoa, he had
A
a
couple of
stroke?
years ago he did, and was really incapacitated. But I'm starting to see him pop up in shows again, which is fantastic.
So if we're done with John's humble brag corner.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just think it's cool that
It's
I
not
worked on
humble brag. It's just his job.
Yeah. So there's a couple of ways to get
just teasing you,
basically the door is locked with a voice passcode, and you can lean on the HK unit's pride to get him to say it in his voice. All you need is a recorder. Or you can go through all these different clips of Timothy Omundson's talking to people and get it from there. And last time I did
former.
it the hard
I didn't
way.
realize you could do the latter. That's crazy.
I did the hard way last time. I'm glad, but I didn't have enough points in Persuade to get him to spill the beans himself.
Are we talking about what's the hard way?
The hard way is going through different recordings and getting different words out of each one. The easy way is to use Persuade to get the robot to be like, "Oh, you can't do a perfect impression of Timothy Omundson," and the robot's like, "Oh, but I can."
I had 2 options. I had that, and then I also had one where I negged him into it.
That's what I was
I
doing.
was like, oh,
Yeah.
I get it. You can't really do it. Don't worry about it, dude. It's fine. You're just a protocol droid. It's fine.
So you use that to unlock the door, and then there's some more the more better robots start coming out at this point.
The big silver robots, shiny
Yeah.
ones.
Mm,
The ones that look like Earthbound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, they're heckin' scary, but I do have a robot lightning shoot from my fingers. So that's pretty good.
Hang
Hang on.
light
You have
side power?
robot lightning shoot from your fingers?
Yeah, there's a light side power called...
Oh, stun droid.
Disable droid.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's disable and destroy. Stun, disable, and destroy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's essentially force lightning, but only for electrical equipment.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds good. Is it as good as just force lightning?
I would say it's even better because it's essentially an EMP, so you can disable your enemies without actually harming them.
So
then you have an opportunity to talk to them and maybe work it out.
Because this game does kind of ignore the whole concept of the singularity that these robots are sentient by just saying, oh, they're not living things. And then Star Wars is like, yeah, they are not living things. They
Mhm.
do
It's
not
crazy
have
to think
agency.
that Knights of the Old Republic is set 5,000 years before the modern movies, but it took
Oh, because all the robots are the same?
Solo, a Star Wars story, to finally have a droid say, hey, I'm a free-thinking being who deserves my own rights.
And I want to Mount Londo.
Well, who doesn't? Donald Glover's a
Orlando.
good-looking dude.
That's true.
To be fair, I think that George Lucas did originally say that Chewbacca was just a dog, and that's why he didn't wear clothes.
Yeah.
So,
Well, listen, that's why Chewbacca did not get a medal at the end of the first Star Wars, and it's really
you
PC.
don't give a medal to a dog.
All right, Space Dennis Miller.
Wink, wink, JJ. Goddamn stupid piece of shit, terrible movie.
Space Dennis Miller does not like that movie.
I'm gonna have to bleep a lot of Star Wars spoilers in this episode.
Yup. It's going to be great.
Can you please, instead of using the bleep noise, use
Uh-huh.
a lightsaber noise?
Yes.
Oh,
Oh.
that would be great.
Or,
Yeah.
droid
You should
beep.
use a
Sure
droid
can.
beep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's even better. It'll just
Yep.
be boo. Woo!
That's gonna be
You know what? You have to admit that George Lucas figured out what a robot should sound like 40 years ago, and he's still right. Alexa needs to stop talking back to me and just beep.
Yeah, we'd like her a lot.
Boo for no, and bloop for yes.
So you finally, to get to this habitat area, you have to go into space for literally no reason.
Yep.
You
Yeah.
slowly walk.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
If you
You got to
This is-
spacewalk from one entrance that you can access to the other entrance you can access. Like
And
the
this
door next
actually
to it.
happened.
And you see the absolute slowest, unskippable cutscene of this spaceship docking. It is terrible.
Somebody was so excited to have a 5-minute animation of a goddamn umbilical coming out and docking onto a spaceship. Like they fucking spent 6 months on it. They were like, "You're gonna watch this. It looks real."
I could not believe it was unskippable.
It's so long.
We also get a brief cutscene inside that ship of a gray, cracked-skinned dude who's like meditating around a pile of Republic troop bodies, which is pretty fun. And
Yeah, that seems fine.
if you remember, do you remember in KOTOR in the underwater planet, the Kulta planet, where you have this exact same spacewalk except it's an underwater walk?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's so
They
reminiscent. I was
reused
thinking
that.
about it while I did it.
Yep. It's
Also, you're in this big, bulky, Earth-like spacesuit, which is not something we ever see in the Star Wars universe.
I know, that's weird. You're in like a 1985 NASA suit.
Yeah. But I did like about this section that you're walking along outside and you get a call from Dennis Leary. Oh, wait, Dennis Miller. I don't know very much about Dennis Leary and his comedy. He may be a Dennis Miller type comedian or he may not be. I don't know.
Dennis Leary's more like, I'm a jerk, and you're a jerk for saying I'm a jerk. Everybody's jerks. That's his whole thing.
Sounds exactly
Okay.
like Dennis Miller. In fact, it
Yep.
sounds like every Dennis. I don't think this is a comedian Dennis Miller, Dennis Leary thing. I think everyone named Dennis is like this.
Yeah.
It's a Dennis
So
thing.
Aton Rand Atton Rand calls you up and he's like, hey, are you still down in the mines? What's going on? Oh, the sensors are showing that you're outside. That can't be right. And then you can be like, just look up, asshole.
Yep.
And then he looks up and sees you out the window and is like, "Roar!"
He does a dance.
What are you doing out there? Yeah, he's like, oh no. So he tells you that the heat from the station is venting directly into your path.
Yeah.
So you should be extra careful.
This makes no difference in the gameplay at all.
No.
In
you
any
can
way,
just
shape,
walk
or
through
form.
the vents.
You have a whole conversation with him about how the mine is venting out across the space path, and then you watch a 5-minute unskippable cutscene of a fucking ship docking, and then you just walk through the rest of your path. No problem.
Okay, so it's right about here that I think. Do you remember Jim's weird mannequin room experience from the restored content mod of Vampire the Masquerade?
From when
Yes.
hang on, from when I spent the weekend with Jim. Yes, I do remember that.
Matthew, we don't go in.
So I feel like I've had a Jim's mannequin room experience where I think right around here I had a cutscene of a white-haired Jedi lady wearing white, like walking, sneaking around, and then it didn't have anything to do with anything else.
What are you talking about?
I swear it happened, but I was trying to find it in my video just to take a still of it because I recorded myself playing it. I couldn't, like, in the thumbnails find it. I don't know.
That didn't happen.
I think that didn't happen, but maybe it did. Maybe this is a Parodius
Although-
situation.
Did she have sort of a pixie cut haircut?
Yeah, she had a pixie cut.
Maybe it did happen.
Because I've never seen this Jedi lady before. This is a new cutscene that I don't remember.
It must be
familiar.
It must be a content thing because I sure as shit didn't see another Jedi. Which, speaking of, I know that I'm sure you talked about it. What's up with the Lady Jedi that is definitely just a Force ghost inhabiting a corpse here, right? They said 4 times that was a dead body. For sure! The game tells you that's a dead body 4 times, and then it gets up and it's like, puts its hood on so that it covers its face, and it's like, what's up? I'm still alive. No! That's a lich!
Well,
Are you trying to say
That's a
that
lich!
it's a ghost? What you don't know is a ghost?
I mean, yeah, except for you definitely know it's a ghost. They told you that lady dead.
She could be a zombie.
there,
she
you know,
probably-
the Sith does
Ooh, a space
allow
zombie.
access to some
Ooh.
less than respectable powers or whatever.
Hey,
he
when she
says.
joins your party, she's definitely leaning dark side, is all I'm saying.
She is, and she's also clearly classified as a Jedi consular.
I get-
But then when you try to talk to her, she's like, maybe I'm a Jedi and maybe I'm not.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I got your statistics, lady. Don't play coy with me.
So you try to save all these miners
Damn
after
it.
you get
I was
into
gonna
the
ask something
habitat area. Oh, well, you go ahead.
No, it's fine. I've had like 4 fucking drinks since we started, so I'm a little lost. I'm drinking a lot of rum tonight.
I'm just drinking some
Hey,
Hard Day Northwest IPA by Red
Ooh.
Truck Beer.
Sounds fun.
you know who else is a little lost? Dominic
J.J.
Monaghan.
Oh, God. Obviously, I love you, Vanessa.
Is that your Dominic Monaghan?
I mean, it's better than I can do. Jim,
Why
give me
does
your
he sound
Dominic
like
Monaghan
he's creeping through a
impression.
magic forest?
Jim, give me your Dominic Monaghan impression. Go.
I'm Dominic Monaghan.
Yes.
Nice to meet you.
Too real. Too real.
Vanessa, I've got some lovely soap for you. It's called
Oh my God.
John, why does he sound like Gollum?
Why, John? Why do you sound like you're talking to Vanessa down a shaft? Like, put this lotion on your skin.
Come down here, Vanessa. We all
I don't
float.
think that John knows who Dominic Monaghan is.
I mean, he is definitely a Kiwi, right? Can anybody even do that accent? Just give it a shot.
He's
Anybody,
Irish
right now.
He's Irish. He's not.
Is he
Kiwi.
Irish?
He's not Irish. He's from Manchester.
Really?
I don't know.
I think he's
Probably.
Irish.
Ooh, I bet he's a Manchester United fan. Let's go. Glory, glory, Man United. Yeah, that's where Manchester is.
British.
That's a city in Britain.
I
in
thought she made
England.
up the Manchester thing.
No. Oh, well, maybe she did. Did you?
Wait, I was right?
Did you?
No. He's British. His family moved from Germany to Heaton Moor in Stockport, England.
Oh.
Okay.
Jim, what we need to know is whether or not he's a Manchester United fan.
Is Dominic Monaghan a Manchester United fan? He is a he's that's funny. It actually says he is a longtime fan of hometown English Premier League football team Manchester United since childhood.
I'm really coming around on Beaumont Kin, is all I'm saying.
Hey, it says here he is the voice of Sightseeing Manchester's bus tour, recorded in March 2016.
And he's he is partnered with Evangeline Lilly from
And
Lost.
Who's that? Oh,
And
Partnered,
Ant-Woman
how
and
so?
The Wasp. I don't know. Romantically?
Yeah, I think they dated.
Oh, okay.
Oh, only for 5 years.
oh,
Only
they broke up in
5
2009.
5 years. I mean, that's about how long my marriage lasted. Is all I'm saying. It's a long time.
Oh, this video just popped up. Star Wars Dominic Monaghan wants a Rise of Skywalker director's cut.
See, I told you.
Oh,
Yeah,
boy.
he said.
that's
Jim
just
said that
because
earlier.
Yeah, but he was in Lord of the Rings, so he thinks everything needs a director's cut.
You know what? Those Lord of the Rings director's cuts are pretty good.
Yeah, particularly if you are watching all 3 movies on like a Sunday and you're like, I just need to kill this whole day. I need this whole day to end. You know what I mean?
Yeah, if you're hungover on a Sunday, you pop in Lord of the Rings.
Yep.
And you don't move off the couch. You
Probably.
become the couch.
So-
Maybe you
All
eat
the
some gummies or
miners
some
are dead.
brownies,
They're
and you have a great time
all
watching
dead.
them talk about lambus bread.
You can like go around trying to get some like codes from them and stuff because you got to
You know what's funny?
solve this puzzle.
Can I tell you guys something really funny right now? I just love
Okay.
derailing the conversation, but then I remember that I have to edit this, and I hate myself.
So you
So,
gotta
John.
solve a puzzle to get out of there, and the puzzle is related to the experience of all these miners. And there's like some that are smuggling stuff, and it seems like they're talking to the maintenance guy, Timothy Omundson, but they aren't. They're talking to someone else who's pretending to be him, because as soon as their transmission ends, you hear, "Ha ha ha! I was lying to them that I didn't reverse the codes," and it's the voice of the HK protocol droid.
Oh, no.
Oh, that was pretty good.
And then they all get killed.
Oh,
All the humans down here, they
that's
get
too
gassed
bad.
because he
That's right.
reroutes some like fuel venting gas.
Oh, is that what happened? He did it?
Yeah, he killed everybody.
Oh, I didn't put the stuff in that hallway together with the droid.
And so you did you figure out the code? It took me a little while to figure it out because you
I got it from was there like a data pad or something in there? I don't
yeah,
remember.
there's
Yeah.
like a written journal you can read that has the whole, or like it has most of it, and if you look at it, you have to like figure out what the symbols mean. Like X means 5 and dot means 1, and it's just a little bit of a puzzle, but it was a good puzzle. Does this
Friends,
qualify as a puzzle?
Friends, let me tell you.
Mm-hmm.
Dominic Monaghan has a tattoo on his lower right arm that reads,
Vanessa.
"Luminous beings are we, not this crude matter." A quote from Yoda.
Oh. Okay. So Vanessa, did you figure out this code pretty easily?
No, because I missed the part where it hadn't been reversed. So I knew what the code was that they said it was, but I didn't know the other one.
Yeah.
So I just broke down the door.
If you watch like the whole holo recording of the guys getting killed, he notes that the code was reversed.
Yeah, I did not do that.
Yeah.
So I did not figure it out. So I just smashed the console, and that worked fine.
So HK was brought down by his hubris, his overweening pride, because when you get back upstairs, you're like, hey, I know you were the one that killed all the humans. And he turns into evil mode.
Yeah, he's like, well, The thing is, I really do want to sell you to the exchange. I'm a bounty hunting robot. I found you at last, and you're like, how did you find me? He's like, I just happened to be on the ship that you were found on.
Well, because you were
So-
on this like Republic ship, the Harbinger.
Yes.
And he was on that pretending to be a protocol droid, and then he I guess he initiated the raid, or let the Sith on there or something.
Something like that, because then you were somehow taken to the Ebon Hawk from the Harbinger.
Yeah.
Does it ever
Harbinger?
really say how that happens?
Yeah. I think there's
It never does.
Yeah.
I think it's something he orchestrated the whole thing to get you on there and to get it but the ship got shot at by someone else. I got really confused.
It's unclear. Anyway, this is a Bado robot, so we do fight it very much until it's dead.
Well, the only plot point that he really needs to tell you is that basically the Harbinger, the Republic ship that got just docked with the station, found your ship floating in the middle of space. And it had you on there, and it had Kriya, who they assumed was
Yes.
a dead body.
Mm-hmm. And so they've been hauling this body around all over the place.
Yeah, and then I guess your ship escaped from the Harbinger but got damaged, but the Harbinger caught up. I don't know. It's very confusing. So you get to this ship. Well, before you go to the ship full of corpses, Space Dennis Miller and Kriya are mad at each other. They don't seem to super get along. But
Yeah, Kriya shows up, and Kriya's like, oh, you found an idiot. Cool. Look at this asshole you found.
I think.
Well, maybe he can use a blaster, this jerk.
Uh-huh.
Look at his dumb face.
And the game also introduces a mechanic of you getting bad premonitions. And it's like, if you get a bad premonition like this, you should probably save.
Mm-hmm.
And the funny thing is, whenever you get game-related messages like that, someone's like, you were just staring into space. Is everything okay? And you're like, oh, it's fine.
You're like, it's the Force.
Yeah. And there's another one where Atten will say something like, I have a bad feeling about this, and that's also a reason to save.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And he says that very frequently. And Star Wars fans may remember that is a line from a Star Wars film.
Well,
Oh,
it's several
weird.
times. Han Solo says it all the time.
Yeah.
Ham
It's like
Solo.
his catchphrase.
Ham
Solo.
Solo. So you get to the ship full of corpses. After you kill the HK droid, which I was very sad about, but you can scavenge some parts from him, which is fun.
Mhm.
There's no one else except there are someone else full of predators like wobbly Invisivision.
Wobbly Invisivision.
Like in Predator,
Oh,
where it's
these are the
Yeah.
Sith assassin guys.
yeah, and so you got to fight through all those until you get to the engine room, and then the gray skin dude from the cutscene earlier shows up, and old lady's like, I shall fight him by myself. This is not a battle for you. You're like, well, are you sure you can fight? And she says, are you sure you can fight?
So she launches herself into battle, and of course, handily defeats him.
Oh! Well, there's a couple of things here. He knows her. And he
Yes.
he seems to be acting like she's either his whatever, the Sith master or Jedi mentor. They have some kind of master teacher relationship.
Right. Are you implying that this woman in a hooded robe who was dead and then rose to life might have something to do with the Sith?
Certainly her Padawan seems to have turned kind of bad, and he's
That's
really
crazy.
got to learn about moisturizer. Severely needs to start moisturizing.
That's like saying that nice old Senator Palpatine has something to do with Darth Sidious.
We haven't even got to our theories about how
I mean, I assume that JJ heard our impression of Incel Sheev and film, and I guess Matt will have to bleep that out too. took a course, I did. Talk to your more attractive friend, I will, and make you wish that I was talking to you. I don't know why he's talking like Yoda.
Yeah,
now.
why is he? He can phrase or construct sentences properly.
Yeah, that's not incel Sheev. That's a pickup artist Yoda.
I notice your other friend there is very attractive. Maybe I should talk to her.
So
Poor Matt's gonna have to
gross.
bleep out so much today.
He loves it.
He loves it.
It's his punishment for continually wandering away from the microphone in this episode.
So, would you say that Kriya gets the upper hand in this fight?
I would say that he gets his ass handed to him.
No, I think that gray skin dude chops her hand off.
Oh, that's right.
So they get into a fight, and unfortunately, since your connection is so strong, you feel your own hand, and it really hurts. And okay, so Vanessa, you're gonna have to explain your next comment because I don't get it.
Let's see. What did I write? I wrote, Jedi feels the hand being chopped off. Issues dude feels that feminism has gone too far.
So what did Space Dennis Miller do?
I don't think that was actually prompted by anything that he did in that moment in that game. That was just my feelings about the character.
Jedi Lady gets her hand cut off.
Atten Rand's latest Netflix special triggered. Space feminism has gone too
Rand's
far.
been reading a lot of Space Jordan Peterson.
Oh boy, that cutscene where what is her name? Rhea?
Kreia.
That scene where Crayon gets her hand cut off is wild. Like, it was the jankiest cutscene. I wasn't 100% sure it was happening. She walks into the room and is like, I'm invisible to him, and then has a whole conversation with him. And the whole time he's like, he's staring at the wall. I mean, like a blind man. Like, he is staring at a wall like he doesn't understand where things are. And then just turns around and cuts her hand off. And it's just like two mannequins smacking into each other and falling down. It's
definitely
It's pretty intense.
interesting
Yes.
how the BioWare
Intense.
technology 2 years later had Mass Effect, which had really good cutscenes.
Yeah.
Did it though?
For Jim,
Yeah.
Jim is very into mannequins smacking into each other. I think that's why he keeps
Right.
the mannequin room.
Yeah.
Okay,
keep
hang
mentioning
on.
it.
Whoa. Let's not confuse mannequins with sex dolls. They're different things. Jim likes to smack both of those things into each other. You know?
And one can sub for the other in a pinch.
Well, sure.
Sure.
As long as you've got a
So I
drill.
got a deep roster.
Hang on. I want to learn more about this character of perverted man that has a deep roster of sex dolls. Let's explore this space.
Well, you know, in Mission Impossible in the old TV show where they had all those pictures of the different agents they're gonna choose.
Yeah,
For the
with
man
Tom
who has a lot of
Cruise
sex dolls.
and Simon
in the
Pegg.
he'd have like pictures of each sex doll and be like, for this mission we need this one, we need that one,
Yeah.
legless one.
I put them all in chairs. Like I have an 8x8 grid of chairs, and I said, "Who wants to volunteer for this one?" And then run around and raise 2 arms up.
The crazy thing is that I don't think we're that far away from the dystopian future where men literally pay for that, like sex fantasies with fucking real dolls, where there's people in just dressed in all black spandex in the background repositioning the sex dolls every few minutes. I mean, it's $8,000 for 5 minutes, but all those tech billionaires got to spend their money on something, you know?
Matt, I told you
I
that.
did see
Anyway,
that too, Jim.
I
There
don't have
is
insurance
have
for
that
my
in Japan,
children,
right?
and I'm really having a tough time.
Matt, I told you about how I plan on dying by being killed by a Zangief sex doll, right?
Yes.
Or sex
I
robot.
think that, you have told me that, actually. It sounds very familiar. Somehow the doll will crush
Spinning
you.
pile
I'm
driver!
sorry. Yep. Shit. It's like a shared fantasy. I've been in your mind. I can see the whole thing.
You two are connected through the Force.
Oh my god, we have a on the podcast.
Oh no! John, stop thinking about that. Sorry, Matt. You're just gonna have to go through this with me. I don't want to be here.
It hasn't been seen for generations.
All right.
What's even happening?
So you get off the ship. T3M4. You run into him. You go out through the fuel lines, and everyone's real nervous about that because it's full of fuel.
Yep,
but it's
doesn't
fine.
do anything. Totally fine.
You find T3M4. He has been disabled, assumably by the HK droid.
Yes, assumably.
Yeah,
And-
assumably, sir. Presumably by the HK droid, and also, definitely
Assumably is a
confirmed in
word.
the game, right? Like they don't
I think-
beat around the bush. The HK droid eventually just straight up admits to every crime that it commits.
Yeah. He admits
Which
it.
is all the
You can
crimes.
talk to
I mean,
him.
it turns out that this whole 10-hour chunk of this game is Amnesiac Jedi versus the crazed murder droid that killed the entire station.
She's not really an amnesiac. You do have the option to answer questions about your past,
Yeah.
and many of those are like, I'm not a Jedi anymore. I
Yeah,
was exiled from the Jedi.
that's a
And
good
you
point.
also get to, because you can't import your save game from KOTOR 1, you basically, when you're talking to Ant and Rand, you tell them what happened in your version of KOTOR 1, which is pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
I like that. Except
I
it didn't have any
kinda-
options about killing Kalo, or not Kalo Nord. What's his name? Vanessa's
Kylo Ren.
No, Vanessa's boyfriend.
Atten Rand.
Ray.
No.
Cartho Nazi.
Cartho Nazi, because there's no options for, I stranded Cartho Nazi on Kashyyyk or whatever Matt did.
Yeah.
Here's a
I
fun
heard
thing.
Cartho Nazi was stranded on the planet.
I definitely played KOTOR 1 because we did it on the show, and I could go back and listen to myself talk about it. I don't remember a fucking thing about
Yep.
that game other than the big twist. So when they're like, you were a huge part of the Mandalorian Wars, I'm like, wait, was I? I don't know. I don't remember what happened.
No, Revan was. I guess you were too. Vanessa, did you find the holo log?
Wait. This is important, and it's not about Dominic Monaghan. So, Matt, do you believe
Uh-huh.
in this game that you are
Anything
playing
called
the
love.
same character that you played in the first KOTOR?
Yes. Am I
Oh,
not?
that's a good question.
Are you telling me
No.
that I'm not?
You are not Revan.
I'm Malik. Revan fought Malik, and Revan won, and that's why I'm an amnesiac on a spaceship.
You are
And it's
not
the
Revan.
same spaceship from the last game.
It's not the same character, though.
You can't
Vanessa,
prove
did you
that.
find the holo log where you are talking to I can't say this word. Admiral Cartho Nazi?
Admiral Cartho Nazi, I sure did. And let me tell you, if ever there was a part of me that was thinking, well, Atten Rand, his personality sucks, but his hair sure does flop, that was gone as soon as my Carth reappeared on the hollow screen. Oh, he's so dreamy, even pixelated and blue and sort of see-through. And have you noticed in all these hollow logs, the way they rendered them, you
Yep.
can see the character's full eyeballs?
Yeah. 5,000 years have passed, and the only difference is it looks better than CGI did like 2 years before this. That's it. It's crazy.
Yeah. In the movies, when you see the sort of hollow
It
call,
used to be black and
you're
white,
seeing
right?
a hollow. It's essentially, well,
And
it's kind of
two-dimensional.
bluish and a little bit see-through, but you can't see their internal organs. In this
Yeah.
game, you can see
Yeah,
their
that's
full
true.
round eyeballs inside their heads.
The game hasn't quite
You see
figured
their
out how
full
to do
teeth
this
like all the
properly.
way back, and you're like, ooh,
Yeah.
wait, I can see too many teeth. can't read this expression.
Oh boy. At least Jedi Fallen Order does holograms properly.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah. So you get T3M4 back on your team. He's good to go. You make it to the Ebon Hawk, and Kriya's like, I'm going to come with you. Or am I?
Yeah, again, this is definitely a ghost, right? I don't buy this as a person.
But she comes with you, and Vanessa says you lent her a hand getting off the station. Vanessa! She just got her hand chopped off.
Too soon.
One of the first things I did when she got back in the party was I tried to equip a two-handed sword with her.
How'd that go?
You're a monster.
It actually gives you a message that says this character's left hand is not available.
And then you get Vanessa's favorite thing, a turret sequence where you play as the turrets shooting some of these Sith.
This
How many
sucks.
Sith did you guys let on the ship?
Are you can
7.
let him on the ship?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you don't shoot them all, they can get on the ship.
I got
Oh,
7.
I shot them all.
I got 3.
I
I
shot
had one.
all
Oh,
the
wow.
motherfuckers for sure.
I failed real bad at this.
I didn't realize you
Guess
could
now
fail
we
at
have,
this.
Well,
Actually,
if
I
they get on
guess
the ship, you have to fight them. That's all.
what I realized
Yeah.
was that for some reason the A and D keys moved the turret way faster than the mouse did. That made it really easy to blast everybody. Playing on a mouse and keyboard is fucking weird, y'all. Like, I have not just played on a mouse and keyboard in a long time. It's strange. I guess it's also old, so A and D are just like camera controls.
Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah, it sucks. Jim, you're playing on the Xbox controller, right? Does the left and right analog stick move the camera around?
Yeah, but
That's
like
a nightmare.
It has the left one. No, the left one moves your character, and the right one moves the camera. But it's got like the vertical camera movement is like it goes way too far down, like to the floor, so you can really quickly overcorrect and not be able to see your characters at all. It's really janky.
I haven't had that problem. The mouse and keyboards.
Anytime in Jedi Fallen Order that I get too close to a wall, the
Yeah.
game, I just can't see anything anymore. It's like, this is
No,
a game
that's
from
just that game's
2019.
Yeah, it is. It's not. It's that the camera in that game sucks. But do you remember? It's weird to me because it's not weird to me. We all played God of War 2018, right? 2019, 2018.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
Heck
2018.
no.
it had a lot of the same problems. Like the camera sucked and the combat was kind of really hard, but not because it was hard, just because it kind of sucks.
I'm enjoying. Well, we'll talk about that on the Patreon.
You're right.
But I like it. I'm enjoying.
Don't
it.
offer your opinion to these plebes.
No, no.
I'll believe that. Don't
and
worry.
And that's it. Then you space out of there, and I guess you get a couple of options as you leave on how you try to save the station. But I just said I'm just going to let them shoot the asteroids, and the ship behind me shot the asteroids and blew the station up.
Oh, really? I demanded.
I said something like, "Oh, go ahead."
No, you go ahead, please.
Oh, I told them no, there could be someone still alive on the space station. We cannot shoot the space station. But then it did blow up anyway.
That's a good choice to make. What about you, Jim? Did you blow up the asteroids?
No. I
But
didn't blow up the asteroids.
but they do get blown up.
they get blown up, but I didn't elect to blow them
Yeah.
up.
So it doesn't
Yeah,
matter
it's just
what you
like-
do, I guess, because I definitely elected to blow up the asteroids and blow up the station in the process,
You
killing
monster.
everyone that was possibly left, which was no one, because I did kill everyone on that space station.
Right. And that is the end of our chunker.
We did it. It
Yeah.
took us
Whew.
almost as long to talk about it as it did for me to play it. Like, it's the longest thing ever. I'm sorry, listeners. I'm sorry, me. It's terrible.
There are no side quests yet, except for doing some med packing on the body, which I missed. Of the body of your Jedi. And
There were lots of
bullshit
side quests.
minigame.
Did you get the side quest to go check the man's bunk?
No.
Oh, I read about that, but I didn't do it.
How do you get that
What's
one?
in the bunk? The
I,
hidden compartment in the bunk?
you know what sucks is I got all the way to there, to the bunk, to the room, and I was like, oh, I don't have any mines. I can't open this. So I just didn't bother. So really what I'm asking is, I was kind of hoping that one of you would tell me, but...
Was this
No,
the
I
guy
didn't have
who
any
was
mines, so
smuggling
I couldn't
stuff?
blast the door.
Yes.
Yeah, I guess he was smuggling some things.
Ah, yeah. Yeah, I totally didn't do that because I didn't have any mine. Well, I had mines. I didn't have any demolition. I didn't have the ability to explode.
Yeah,
Oh.
I was in the same boat. And after this, I finally was like, "Fuck it, I'm just gonna spend the points and upgrade demolition a little bit because it would be nice to be able to do something." Anyway, that's it for Matthew's bullshit side quest corner.
Mini games. The only mini game really was the shooting the Sith turret sequence, and that was a bad mini game. It wasn't good.
Yeah, it's not
Dead
really
Space
even a mini
bad.
game.
It's a different way. Yeah, it's a different control method.
Yeah, it's a mechanic switch, which is my least favorite thing that an RPG can do.
You should play Nier Automata, the game
Well,
No,
that
thank you.
ruined Instant Classic.
I love it when Matt speaks with a mouthful of vape because he sounds like he's a robot.
Bleep, bloop, blip, bloop, 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 bloop.
Next
Yeah,
time,
Matt is our droid.
next time we're gonna finish Telos, which is quite a long chunker.
Oh boy,
There's a lot.
It is. A
that's
long
exciting.
Last time I talked about an awesome thing with robots that I thought was on the space station, but it is on Telos. So
Oh, I was
Oh.
wondering about that because I have played a little bit of the next chunker, and there is an awesome thing with robots.
yes, involving the lie ability, which is so
That's correct.
fun.
Stay tuned for that, listeners. It's going to be a real treat.
Yes. All right, but that is next time on Square Roots. But before we go, why don't we talk about what we're squarely against, Vanessa?
I am roundly for something that happened in this episode, and I don't want it to be lost in the chatter or potentially edited out, so I really want to emphasize for the listeners that until the time of recording, Matt believed he was playing the same character that he played in KOTOR 1.
So you're roundly for that?
I'm roundly for that.
I'm sorry. Excuse me. I don't believe that I am. I am. You are the one that is mistaken, madam.
You think that there will be a reveal that you've been the same person all along?
You have spoiled the game for me enough that now I know there won't be a reveal. But I still am
Wait.
not sure that you'll be able to prove it to me in canon.
Jim, you're saying something?
This isn't. You're telling me this game's not a direct sequel to the first one?
It is.
It is a direct sequel.
Oh, I thought.
But Matt believed that much like in Mass Effect, where you play Commander Shepard in the first game and the second game, Matt is under the impression that you are playing the same character from the first game in this second game.
I distinctly
You're not.
remember.
I
remember
remember.
remember that I played Jellicle Cat, who turned out to be Revan, and that I'm now playing Jellicle Cat again. And this time I'll turn out to be Malik, I think.
Darth Remember.
Oh,
Sorry.
so Jim, what are you roundly for or squarely against?
Darth
Jim?
Remember.
Oh, I'm kind of squarely against this game. It feels like exactly the same game as the first one. Which I'm sure it's got maybe more different stuff, but even the items are named the same thing, and it's all very samey. I was
Hang
expecting
on.
something a lot different.
Whoa. The items are named the same thing, and that's a problem?
Well, it's like the exact same
Yeah.
like weapon names and shit.
Yeah, it's like how in Final Fantasy you play one of them, and it's like, here's a Phoenix down, and then the next one's like, here's a Phoenix down.
That's true.
Yep,
That's
that's
good.
exactly
No,
what
but
I was. Yeah.
It's the same engine and everything. It's more like Final Fantasy 10 to 10-2, where it's just kind of the same locations and looks.
That's
Okay,
true.
yeah.
Same assets.
Here's the
Yeah.
thing: is that like we're making jokes about it. I'm kind of excited about that. Like I'm into this. I'm into this
Yeah,
Obsidian.
I think it's a good
I
way
like
to-
this idea a lot. I hope it lives up. You're setting my expectations way too high.
I
way
think it's
too
good.
high.
I think I'd rather have games come out not once every 10 years. I don't mind if they reuse stuff, if they make a new story.
So this is going to
That's
be a
fine with me.
Mandalorian and not a Rise of Skywalker, is what you're saying.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Or Dragon Age 2, not a Dragon Age 1.
I don't. That's unreal.
A Fallout New
Matt,
Vegas.
what are you squarely against?
Yeah.
That fucking metaphor, that comparison was terrible. Dragon Age 1 is amazing and Dragon Age 2 is garbage. Anyway, what am I squarely against? You know, I guess I'm just going to be roundly floor, bleep bloop. I do like the robot. It's a fun robot. He goes bloop bloop. They go bloop bloop. Your best friend, right there. It's like a Pokemon, but it's a droid. Who's next?
Yeah.
Me.
John.
I am roundly for
Bloop
HK droid and his bragging. I like how very obvious it is that he is the one that killed everybody.
It was a lot of fun. Talking
That
to the
was
HK
great.
droid was maybe the most fun of this entire chunker, actually.
I exhausted every dialogue tree with him.
Mhm.
It was a lot of fun. All right, and with that, we are going to go to emails. Jim, do you feel
Do we
like
have one?
reading an email?
Yeah.
Yeah, we do.
A very special BioWare email.
Yeah.
How about Jim read it?
Sure.
Yeah.
Hola, group. I am effectively writing in from late March since it took me almost 6 months to play Dragon Age for the first time so I could listen along.
Oh, we have so
Way
many
back-
future things to tell you.
Way back at the time you asked us what our lands meets look like, I wanted to report that I didn't meet the requirements for anyone to build any bridges, so I got a fairly standard scenario wherein I had Alistair execute Loghain and alienated whatever his daughter's name was, even though she'd previously agreed to marry him after
Laura?
he became king.
Is that it?
So I got this sequence where my characters beheaded a villain whilst his horrified daughter sobbed over his body and got blood splattered into her face. The way I played the game didn't often indulge in a ghoulish sense of humor like that, but that particular sequence was pretty fun. For those who've played the other Dragon Age games, I have a question. Any major changes to the combat system? I guess I'm alone in thinking that the fighting and dungeons and Origins pretty much sucked ass and were very little fun, but well, that is how I felt. There was a lot to do in the game, but I wish more of it had been enjoyable, especially at 60 plus hours. So only your word that things get better would interest me in ever actually trying to play another of these things. Anyway, the month of March 2019 wants present day you to know that I hope you never gave in to the pressure to stop reading the patron names. It's a delightful little ritual. Although if it did ever get too tedious to continue, I totally intend to understand. Best, Ben.
Solo.
Now, Ben, there's a lot of different ways you can play a Dragon Age. You can play it on easy, like a fighting game or like a action game by doing the camera behind you. If you don't like that, you can try setting it on hard and doing the tactical mode that is in, I think, all of them on PC except for Dragon Age 2 on consoles. You can't do it. But Dragon Age 1 and 3, you can do it on PC and console of like turning
Yeah,
the...
and sorry, John. Continue.
So I don't know if it was too easy or too hard or too actiony or too tactical, because there's basically each Dragon Age game except for 2 lets you play it in 2 different ways.
If you don't like either of those, you can do it the Androstian way, which is using the magic spell tilde kill all hostiles, enter, and that will just kill them for you. But I would say that Dragon Age 2, I think, has the same combat system. Dragon Age 3, I played on console, as just a straight action RPG, and on easy it worked completely fine.
That's weird.
So they do tweak the combat for 3.
I have a different experience with that, which is that 2 I played and it tried to be more action-y and was really bad at it. But 3, I played Inquisition on console and definitely had like a more tactical experience, more top-down, pausing combat to issue orders experience, and enjoyed it a lot more, and thought that was more similar to what they were going for in 1. I thought 2 tried to be too much of like an action game.
You can,
but I did only play it on console, so I don't know about different versions.
Well, 3 gives you the option.
Yeah.
With 3, you can keep the camera down at sort of your standard action RPG behind your character position the whole time, or you can roll it up and do top down and pause and issue commands and all that.
3 to me felt like more of a 3 to me felt like more of a kind of MMO-ish type experience. Anyway, John, you had a question for us all.
Yeah. So if you could tell people in March 2019 anything from January 2020, is there anything that would change the course of history? Because I can't think of anything super major. Like Suleimani gets killed by a drone strike, but I mean, that's not that.
I guess I would tell them to really make sure that the guards keep a good eye on Epstein.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Ricky Gervais in here.
To serve out his sentence.
Vanessa Gervais in here with the hot takes.
Don't get me started on that guy.
Sorry, you're right, John. I apologize. I should have even brought him up. That's my bad. Well, that's all I had to say. Sorry.
Well, that's a good one, Vanessa. Also, maybe try to. You can't get Corbyn out, but that would have helped things if it was a different Labour candidate. I think because things are going to go pretty bad for you if you are hoping for a Labour majority in UK Parliament.
That Brexit referendum vote's not going to work out, so don't even bother. And maybe hose down Australia if you can.
If I'm just telling myself something, it's just, hey Matt, it's just going to get worse. So I don't know. Don't have a heart attack too early. Can't have a heart attack all year. You know. You know what I mean?
Keep that cat out of the tree.
Keep that cat out of that tree.
Yeah.
And that is a great way to refer
anyone...
to the U.S., as it is today. Keep that cat out of that tree. Sorry, Vanessa. Please go ahead.
And go to therapy a little bit sooner. Why wait?
I would say I think March 2019, John realized the guy he was interested in was very not interested back. So that's already done. Too late on that one.
You could warn him about meeting up with Vanessa in October.
Oh, it was fun. I had a good time.
Oh. Hey,
weird.
Did you notice how in this email they mentioned the Patreon?
Yeah.
Did you know that a special bonus benefit of being a patron is getting your name read at the end of the episode?
What are the other benefits?
We
of
have
being
to talk
on
about the other
Patreon
benefits of Patreon.
I don't know. I can never remember.
John,
record these episodes and they never air.
I know.
As they go on the Patreon.
Jonathan,
all right.
A $3 patron has access to all of our bonus episodes, which is totally rad. For example, in January of 2020. We're going to have. Guys, I drank most of a bottle of rum tonight. I'm in bad shape at this point. We're going to have a episode about Jedi Fallen Order, which we're all playing and just loving.
I think the listeners have figured that one out.
It's a real Star Wars heavy beginning of the year, I guess. And it's funny because we're about 2 weeks too late to really cash in on that.
It's fine. We're still gonna get all the Star Wars fans.
Just a little
listen
too
to
late.
What we have to say and be like, okay, I don't care about Beauregard Mimi or whatever his name was.
Beauregard Kin.
Is it Beaumont or Beauregard?
I think
it's
that
Beaumont,
everyone who has seen the film stopped caring about him the moment he appeared on screen.
That's
With apologies to Dominic Monaghan. I'm sorry. That's how we
Of
felt.
course. Our Square Roots is once again very sorry, Dominic.
and our $5 Patreon level gives you access to our regular votes. You vote on upcoming games. You vote on upcoming bonus episodes. You vote on whether or not John grows out a mohawk.
Ooh, no thank you. First of
Damn
all,
it.
that part of my head doesn't have hair.
Oh, well, you vote on whether or not Jim shaves his hair into a mohawk.
That's
Oh,
better.
yeah.
Man, it's too late at night to get Jim excited for this, but I'm going to, listeners, hey, we'll circle back on this. Don't worry.
As long as I can grow, finally, then when I grow a rat tail, it won't look weird.
Whoa, that looks so
God damn
bad.
it, Jim.
But it is the year so twice. We named it twice. We're playing all sequels, and there will be plenty of votes on sequel games because I think we're going to have a lot of indecision on what to play. And also, I don't want to suggest games anymore because you all hate the games I suggest.
Yeah,
so,
you pick bad games. Also,
I do.
Can I give a shout out to our best friend Brian Pitt and tell him and all of you that I agree with Brian Pitt that I think that we should refer to this year by its Aramaic and Roman numerals. 2020 is 20XX. What's up?
Ooh, 20
20XX. That's the year so twice. We named it twice, ladies and gentlemen. 20XX.
And also, Vanessa, what were you saying before about them Patreon extra bonus?
Oh, what I was saying about the Patreon extra bonus is sometimes we like to read the names of our Patreons right here on the show to let them know that we see them. We see you. We see you.
Puff, puff. Oof.
And we're going to
Let's
start
do
with
that right
Jim.
now.
But first, let's apologize to Matt for the 2.5-hour episode he's going to have to edit.
Yep,
Well,
thank you,
Dominic
John, for
Monaghan.
recognizing all the things I was realizing. It's my fault. I blame myself. It's none of you. I love you all.
Well, I
Jimothy.
shouldn't drink because I don't keep you on track if I'm drinking.
Well, John, I
Right.
shouldn't drink because I don't keep you on track if I'm drinking. So, same. You know, that's just how it goes.
One or the other of you can drink, but not both.
Paul
it's like that
Birch.
famous riddle where you have the
Jim
chicken and the
Pumpkin.
corn and the
Jim,
fox.
let Jim read
And you
Jim's
gotta
David
Yeah,
Green.
let's go.
ferry them across
right,
the
let me-
river and back again.
Jam-
Let me
Jameson.
start here. Paul Birch, T. Bumpkins, David Green, Jameson, Huxley Iguana, Heavy Metal Jesus, gladly admitting that Digimon rocks, Gregory, Sean
Digimon
Walsh,
does
Jonathan
rock.
Lee, Nathan Poirot, George Brady, Wash in the Wind, Matthew Casterline, in loving memory of Sexy Grandma,
Is Kriya a sexy
Kate
grandma?
Ninja, Brady A. Berman, Randy Pierce, Galendo, Wonder Swan, Alex Dullard, Rock and Roll Martian, Halloween candy has turned my mouth into a desert of pain.
We would also like to thank Ward Childress, Tom, Florian Jonas Kramer, Aaron Bachman, Vanessa's fourth mom. I'm going to leave in my drunken tongue stumbles. The Mighty Monarch,
Did someone say my
Cyril the
name?
Wolf.
Janessa?
Ross Hartley, Sean Arata, Tyler Petty, KGG Loth, Ron 2, Ron Squared, Jordan O'Boyle, The Bad Boy, Bobby Midkiff, Chris Ryan, Stephen Paget, Joshua Bennett, Miguel Torres, David Shook, Alexander Zhukic. Fuck you. Why you gotta have a hard
What? Matt, you can't just
Why
yell
you
at
gotta
someone
have
for
a
having
hard
a
name
last
to
name.
say? Tracy
Jokic.
Tanoff, Amanda Douglas, Dr. Stephen Stone, Lex Averial, Armin Hammer, Megan Sullivan, Hexagon, Christian Go, No Gods, No Masters. It's a Kawami Mario. It's a Kawami Mario. That doesn't work. Andy M.
Call me.
He doesn't then say Mario. It's not It's a Me. Oh, it is It's a Me Mario. Shit.
It's a call me,
Late.
Mario.
It's late.
Vanessa.
Just go.
Actually, it's me, Janessa.
It's
Brad
Janessa.
Pitt, Robert M. Pullum,
Oh, it's Janessa.
Aaron
Hi,
Little,
Janessa.
PJ Ends.
You're a lot
Hi,
more fun.
guys. Holiday Armadillo, Vanessa's mom, Jared Collins, Hudson Roth, Race Jenkins, Adam Zimmerman, Vanessa's actual mom for real, Matthew Newland, Just Jerry, D. Jethro, Fine, say everyone's name, at least it annoys Matt, G. Nawford, Justin Ham, Eric Garvey,
Jeez,
She's slowly
Joseph,
turning into the secretary from
Ryan
Ghostbusters.
Miller,
It is
Andy
right.
Smith, Bree Girth, that one guy. Squall would be Cloud in a fight.
Slimer!
Hostetler. And Mary Queen of Scoffs, Janessa out.
See you, Janessa.
Janessa, as played by Annie Potts. Bort von Glorp IV, Mama's Nights and Daddy's Pain in the Buttocks. Square Roots Con 2020,
one
August
name.
20th at Matt's place. Matt, you're hosting Square Roots Con 2020.
August 20th at Matt's place. All right, I'm down.
Chris Wilder, Cameron Shoei, Kiva Moser, Andrew Desk, the strongest Yakuza. Desk, you've got to change it to a Star Wars related one. Benjamin Avner, Jake Dickerson, Andy, the best Andy, not like the other Andys. Michael Crawford, the Phantom Scofflaws of the Opera. Reddit is Harold Lauder, Robert T, Sean Gonzalez, Devin Sloan, Citrus C, Steven.
That's right.
Steven
I'm not the only
Kroc.
stumble-tongued fucking idiot on the show tonight.
Jonathan Ellsworth, Samuel Mitchell, everyone's favorite marine biologist, Sty of the Beholder, Patrick Wovsbears, Stu Skeel, the cutest Pittsburghian, Chris Penyak, G. Bailey, and Rusty Kamada.
Relax, dude. Stu's married. Don't mess around in there.
I'm just saying he's cute.
All right,
Can't I
calm
say
down.
he's
John,
cute?
did you add a?
Calm down,
John, did you just Pepe Le Pew your?
No, he's just a cute Pittsburghian.
He is a cute Pittsburghian for sure. But John,
Jeez. What? We're
his
friends.
husband doesn't listen to this show. I hope his husband doesn't listen to this show.
No, his husband and I are friends. We're good. It's all good.
Well, if he had a complaint, where would he
Edit
maybe?
this out.
Where would he? Hang on,
You can
John. I'm
tell him to
segueing.
tell him to-
If he had a complaint, where would he send his complaint?
The Square Roots HR
Yes!
department at extension 6762.
Send us an email. You know our email address. It's squarerootspodcast@gmail.com. You can also go to the Square Roots podcast group for smart, cool, very attractive people on Facebook, which we know Facebook sucks, but it's really hard to make forums elsewhere, and no one would go to them. So you can also tweet at us at Square Roots Pod. And don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe on iTunes or wherever you listen to podcasts. For Square Roots, I've been Johnny Brandon.
I'm Jim Banks.
I'm Matthew Van Zant.
And I'm Janessa.
I've been wondering if she's been asleep this whole time. I thought I heard her snoring. Vanessa, I thought I heard you snoring into the microphone.
Who, Janessa?
Vanessa is asleep. Janessa
Excuse me,
is
Janessa.
awake.
Oh boy, that's
Oh no, Vanessa's eyes are rolling back in her head, and she
This is
seems to
some
be
Vampire
possessed
the
by the spirit
Masquerade
of
episode
Janessa.
1 shit.
Janessa.
Janessa seems like she'd be fun at a party.
Oh, Janessa's loads of fun.
Bye.